What is up, hooligans? Happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. Now, I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. Go and read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats. So let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we'll be getting things started. We'll be starting off with a live coming up. I guess we're not going to be starting with this, but we have a live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. President Trump is to be holding a rally celebrating his first 100 days in Warren, Michigan, which is on the opposite side of the state of where I'm at right now. He's usually late, so I highly doubt he'll be on stage right at 6 o'clock, which is in 30 minutes. But either way, as soon as he is on stage, we will go ahead and switch over to the live stream. Otherwise, we're going to be starting off with this video titled, Canadian Prime Minister Issues Stunning Rebuke of Trump. U.S. will never own us. They apparently elected Carney for their carnival. And, well, he seems like a piece of shit, and he's all bent out of shape about President Trump, but who's not? You know, this mean orange man. They might as well keep it going. Also, we got an extra little video here of Canada's new prime minister. Apparently, he is like Tim Walz 2.0. There's a couple videos of him dancing, circulating the internet, looking like a fool, so why not play 23 seconds of that? Then we got a video titled Lawmakers to Examine UAP Sightings at U.S. Military Bases. UAP is the new UFO acronym. I don't even know. Is it Unidentified Aerial? I don't know. I want to say something, but YouTube's watching, so I can't say it. Either way, it's about the big scary drones and all of that. Let me throw my chapstick real quick. Then we got a video titled Texas Bill Seeks to End College Aid for Students Without Legal Status. Apparently, we have programs that give money to illegals that want to go to college. That shit doesn't make any sense to me, and Texas seems like they're going to do something about it. Then we got a video titled Outright Rejected. Americans don't agree with Democrat strategy, political consultant says. We're just going to play a little bit of that video showing Democrats losing their marbles, and they're still not winning anyone over. Then we got a weird story. It's titled Investigation Underway After Deadly Car Crash at Illinois After School Program. This woman drove her vehicle through a building and killed 3 kids and an 18-year-old, and then apparently just went home. She is not in custody, and they give us her name and her age, but apparently she hasn't been arrested or anything like that. I guess they just let her go home. It's fine, just kill 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old, and have yourself a nice day. Then we got 2 videos from earlier today, because they did a White House press briefing at 8:30 in the morning again, which doesn't make sense. Nobody on the left coast watched that shit, and that's who needs to watch it the most. Either way, first one's titled White House press briefing. Amazon announces it's going to display a number showing how tariffs are affecting prices, basically going out of their way to try and shit on President Trump. And like I said, we got a second one. It's titled White House press briefing, question on tariffs replacing taxes. So it's kind of a follow-up, because yesterday we covered a video with President Trump talking about how he believes that tariffs could replace taxes. Then we got a very short video titled Representative Ilhan Omar, the brotherfucker, saying the quiet part out loud. And when we get to that video, I'm really wondering how that's not breaking the law in one way or another. Then we got a video titled Peter Doocy is in Michigan ahead of President Trump's rally tonight, asking voters what they like most about his administration's first 100 days. Hopefully we get to that before President Trump is on stage. Then we got a video titled Rumors Swirl on Social Media Around Alleged Serial Killer. What's really crazy is they are not talking about how there has been 8 murders within a very small area in New England. And some people think it's a serial killer, but the news is more worried about crushing those rumors than actually disproving it. They can't prove that there's not a serial killer in New England, but there's been 8 murders within driving distance. I think they've all been women, and people really think that there's a serial killer out there. Now, like I said, they're not putting it in the news. You're not hearing it. This has been going on for like a week or 2, but nobody's talking about it. They don't want to talk about it, and all they do talk about is how it's just, let me see, I got it wrote down. They keep saying it is internet sleuths. We're worried about internet sleuths. I don't even know what the hell that means, but that's all they keep saying. Oh, the internet sleuths keep saying that this is a serial killer. No, there's been 8 fucking murders that you can't explain. That's what makes people think it's serial killer. So it makes me even more inclined to believe that there really is a serial killer out there, just because the news is worried more about misinformation than proving that these 8 murders are not related. Then to wrap up the news, we got lefties losing it, and this one's titled Donald Trump Mocks Taylor Swift at White House Super Bowl Celebration. Good stuff. Then we'll be getting into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent Calendar sent to us by Hair Juicer. And then we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Double Homicide. And our official funny video of the day is titled How Girls Trick Me into Being in a Relationship with Them. All of that is coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see how you hooligans are doing today. What is up, everyone over on jeffmaclive.com? What's up, Tori Wayne? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Josh1776? What's up, Russell? What's up, Damsel? What's up, Matt Rogers? What's up, Simply Witchy? What's up, Jay Spray? And what's up, Hair Juicer? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone over on Rumble? Snooks, I think you were first today, but I'm not sure because you guys were waiting forever on me because I was dealing with technical problems. But either way, appreciate you guys racing to the Rumble chat. Now let's see who we got today. What's up, Too Old to Care? What's up, MU? What's up, Cody? Happy freedom, you hooligans. What's up, Fitzy? Appreciate you being here. What's up, AR16? Let me see. What's up, Rappy? If I can get you already. Scrolling through. You guys are waiting on me. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Happy freedom to you. What's up, H Big? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Kevin? Kevin, we were waiting for you yesterday. Did you go vote? What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy freedom. What's up, Wayward? Interesting to see you on Rumble. Glad you're over here with us. Let me see. What's up, Trapper? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Roy? Appreciate you being here. You hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble. That way you can get us on the front page. Plus, everybody will be able to watch the president. And what is up, everyone over on Kick? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on Twitch? Matt Rogers, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Wiggly Tough? Happy freedom. Tony Rich, appreciate you being here. What's up, Kirk Allen? Happy freedom to you. I think we got everybody. And what is up, everyone over on the communism platform? Mr. Satan, you are omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Andrew? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tomafia? Matt Rogers, you are truly omnipresent. Wayward, you are omnipresent. What's up, Mike Ingle? Happy freedom to you. And what's up, Rhyme Time? Happy freedom. You hooligans are welcome. Hit that like button over on the Goof Tube. And what is up, everyone over on X? Wayward, you truly are omnipresent. Tony Rich, you are omnipresent as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into things. You guys have been waiting long enough. Now, I will say I got the rally pulled up over here, so if just some magical moment happened where President Trump shows up early, I got it right here. So if that happens, don't you worry, you ain't gonna miss it. We will put him right on the screen. But until then, we'll be starting with this first video here titled Canadian Prime Minister Issues Stunning Rebuke of Trump, US Will Never Own Us. Now, I believe this is like supposed to be his celebratory speech. He just won the election. He's got Trump on the brain. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, we have these Trump was right about everything t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, dog tags, and long sleeve shirts. I really need to go check it out because I swear to God we made even more than that. But either way, today I got on the Hooligan badge. We got lots of items and lots of designs over at the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we watch this first video.
Overnight, Liberals in Canada keep their power after national elections yesterday, giving Mark Carney a full term as Prime Minister. And the new leader did not waste any time going after President Trump.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never.
National security and military analyst Dr. Rebecca Grant joins me now. That's pretty bellicose there coming from the new leader of Canada, but the president telling The Atlantic, our president that is, I say it would make a great 51st state. I love other nations. I love Canada. You know, they do 95% of their business with us. Remember, if they're a state, there's no tariffs. So Dr. Grant.
All right, well, we don't need to hear these randos out here talking about their little feelings and stuff, but I do think it's humorous that this guy wins their election out there in Canada, and all he wants to talk about is President Trump. Oh, they're going to take our land. They won't take our jobs. I don't know, just crying. Carney of the Carnival there telling Canadians that that we're trying to break Canada so we could absorb them. I think that Canadians should really just stay informed and aware as they descend deeper into liberal madness. The U.S. is not your enemy. Not in any way, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was election shenanigans that caused Carney to win, or if it was really that many liberals out there that just voted for Carney, but I kind of feel bad for Canada, because this guy, he seems like a communist. Anyways, just to move along here, here's some dance skills by Canada's new prime minister. A lot have labeled him, just from these dance moves, that he is Tim Walz 2.0. So we'll just go ahead and play this really quick, and then we'll hop in the chat. Okay, so it's kind of like if Mr. Rogers was gay and drunk at the same time, you'd end up with Carney at the carnival here. Either way, next up, lawmakers to examine UAP sightings at U.S. military bases. This has to do with the drones, the big scary drones that were flying over, I think it was New Jersey, and all of that. Well, now they want to do something about it. Apparently, the Department of Defense and the FAA is to testify. And because of increased drone activity, it is hindering our ability to respond to threats in real time. So I guess they found reasons to worry about it. But either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Canada's new prime minister. Oh, damn, here, Juicer. Let me see. Are you guys still having problems with the player over on Rumble? I wish it wasn't so difficult to build another server, because then I would just go ahead and do that. Just a second. All right. Hair Juicer, still haven't seen your coworker that filmed the UFO. That's interesting, because I've been kind of waiting to see if there was any follow-up with that. Weird, Hair Juicer. Maybe they got him. Russell, he dances ultra white. I don't know. I don't know if it's that. It's terrible. I know that. They call that move the dying fish. Matt Rogers, they voted for someone worse than Justin Castro. That's what it seems like. Like, this guy seems like a full-blown commie. Russell, there's talk in Canada now in Vancouver, Providence, to leave Canada. That's interesting. I wonder how much traction that will get. We hear that here every once in a while. Remember when when Texas was talking about breaking away from the U.S. because they couldn't stand what Biden was doing? And there was a lot of talk. I think there was other states that were trying to join in on that, but obviously it never, happened. It never came to be, but either way. Jay Spray, he didn't get the memo. U.S. government takes whatever it wants and you'll be grateful. Yeah, pretty much. I try not to bring that up, but that is the way our government works. Our government does whatever they want, and that's just all there is. Just period. That's it. They just do whatever they want. Matt Rogers, how about Richard High, angry cops, stuff about pedos in school, crazy shit. I don't know anything about that, Matt Rogers. If you got a video or anything, definitely send it to me somehow so I could check it out. Oh, hair juicer. Interesting. Let me think about it, hair juicer, and see if I can come up with a solution. I know it has something to do with Rumble. It's not us. It's not the website. It has something to do with Rumble. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy freedom to you. Information Warlord, I'm looking forward to Bombardiers being, is that Bombardiers? Is that what it is? Bombardiers being built in Boise? I don't know what that is, Information Warlord. Tina, happy freedom to you. It's not Vancouver, it's Alberta. They voted mostly conservative. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know, Tina, and happy freedom to you. Trapper, I had to repost the New York Killer Live. I don't even know what that is. You guys are giving me the news today. What's up, my feed? Happy freedom to you. My feed, Tim Walls with no balls. I feel so sorry for the hardworking Canadians. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We covered a video yesterday where there was a poll worker getting called out because they were taking unsealed ballots home in Canada's election there, and he was being called out, and they were basically saying there's suspicious stuff going on with their election. So I wonder, did Carney actually win, or did Democrats do what Democrats do? Free the Tex of 51st state. Yeah, they'd be sitting pretty if they were the 51st state right now. Maybe Carney will learn them. What's up, Stoner? Happy freedom. Stoner went to the app. Let's see, and that is working, but Chrome don't work. Rumble must have updated something, and now their player is having problems. It's only so much I can do. I can't really do anything on Rumble, but our website is suffering because of these problems. Cody dropping the boobs in the chat. Very nice. Got to keep that morale high. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy freedom to you. Elder Zoomer, everything's good. Appreciate all of you hooligans giving me feedback here. For these X's, he having a stroke? I don't know what those dance moves were. Where did he learn it? That's what I want to know. Kevin, thanks, Trump, you orange fucker. Yeah. Carney's all kinds of mad about Trump. Air 16, Kami Khan Carney. That's right. Kevin, Trump scared all the old folks and they voted liberal. It could be. That could be it. Because President Trump was joking about, he was talking about tariffs, joking about absorbing Canada as the 51st state. Maybe that was a bad influence on elderly there. Elder Zoomer, we probably shouldn't make Canada a state because Canadians vote stupid. What if we just traded off with California or something? Because California votes stupid. Oregon votes pretty stupid too. And New York, right? New York does it too. I don't know. We can fix him. We can fix him, Elder Zoomer. For the text, Orange Man bad. Yeah, that's what they say. He should come out with merch that says that. He should have Orange Man bad merch. Why not? He came out with the Trump 2028 hats. For the good text, and Rumble works great on Opera and Brave and Firefox. Yeah, I have Brave right now. I've heard good things about Opera. I've never used it though. For the good text, and Salty's pissed at Trump too. What is Salty pissed about? It's been a little bit since I went and watched the Salty live. Oh, Pete Hegseth is at the rally. I just caught a glimpse of it. If he was still standing there, I'd have put him on the screen. I just randomly looked over and saw that. MU, he took lessons from Trudum. Yeah, I think so. Kevin, you're pissed at Trump? Pissed at Trump about what? What did he even do? What's up, Let's Go Brandon? Happy freedom. MU, the dance lessons. He got those dance lessons from Trudeau. He didn't do blackface this time. I mean, yeah, free thinking text, I suppose. Josh 1776, and just like that I got approval to send Jeff a video of me pooping. I mean, I'd rather not, Josh 1776, but it is free speech over on the website. Snooks, I think Canada had fraud just like us with 2020. Could be. It definitely could be. Awesome, Matt Rogers. I'll check it out after live. Thank you for sending it to me. What's up, Kirk Allen? What's up, Carmen Carson? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tom Tom? Happy freedom to you. Tom Tom, you're having trouble with Rumble working also, so you're over on Twitch. I wrote Rumble Rick yesterday, and I don't even think he responded to me. I think they've been busy, but we can't be the only ones having these problems. It's got to be others having these problems as well. Let me see. I don't think he responded to me though. I'm gonna have to send out a SOS message and tag him in it. Yeah, nothing. He did not write me back. Well, we'll see. See what I can come up with. What's up, Cam? Happy Freedom. What's up, Loopy? What's up, Corey Luca? Happy Freedom. Corey Luca. I don't know if it's a 303 kick. I can't remember what it is in that beat, but yeah. What's up, Nobilis? Happy Freedom. You also highly recommend Brave browser? Yeah. I got screwed over using Google Chrome. Stupid cyber criminals stole my whole identity. They still send me emails with all my personal information on it and all kinds of stuff. This April 1st, I think it's either 3 years every single day they've been trying to hunt me down. I have to reset passwords every single day. I get scam emails every day. And sometimes the cyber criminals get bored and they just write me messages just to let me know they know exactly where I am. It sucks. It sucks. Cyber criminals are the worst. It's like pedophiles who have a crush on me. What's up, Cliff? Happy Freedom. Cliff, you're having problems with Rumble too? Yeah. If you guys have X, text RickRack. It's RIC_RAC. That's Rumble Rick. If you tag him and we have enough people write him and go, hey, like we are having problems, he will respond. He might not respond to all of us, but he will acknowledge that we are sending SOS. We are waving white flags over here. Like, come and save us, man. Wayward, you're having the same issues when you watch InfoWars? Yeah. Orange Man Shoes. There you go. See, he should come out with merch. Are we getting any storms in Michigan? No, it's actually sunny outside. It was pretty warm earlier. It's kind of cooling off now. What's up, Sam? Happy Freedom to you. All right, hooligans, let's get into this next one. Like I said, I'm keeping an eye on things. President Trump's rally pulled up here. Let me show you what it looks like. They're showing the crowd right now. Looks good. Got a full house, of course. I didn't expect any less. Michigan loves President Trump, despite what Gretchen Whitmer be trying to tell people. How dare thee interrupt me? Smack that booty. You good boy. You know that? You good boy. All right. Like I said, I got this pulled up, so if President Trump steps on stage, he will get priority. Got about 8 minutes till he's supposed to be on stage, but you never know. I've seen him 2 hours late to these rallies, so we'll go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one is lawmakers to examine UAP sightings at U.S. military base. Now, once again, the UAP is their new UFO word. They don't use UFO anymore. They call them UAPs now. Now, in this video, they're going to be talking about how the Department of Defense and the FAA is about to testify on the mysterious drones that were flying over New Jersey. They're saying that because of increased drone activity, it is hindering our ability to respond to threats in real time because they don't know if there's threats. There's just random drones all over the place. So they don't know if China's flying them or we're flying them or maybe some secret spy is flying them or somebody with a foot fetish. I mean, you never really know. So either way, we're going to go ahead and get into this, but make sure you hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get this rolling.
And let's take a live look at Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are looking to get to the bottom of who's responsible for numerous drone sightings near U.S. military bases in recent months. Today's House subcommittee hearing comes months after the White House said those drones spotted over New Jersey were, quote, not the enemy. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer is keeping tabs on this one for us. Brooke, good morning. I remember those drones over New Jersey. People were worried, but lawmakers treating these drones as a serious threat now.
Hannah, officials from the Department of Defense and the FAA are expected to testify in this hearing in Washington, D.C. later today, addressing what at least one lawmaker described as a significant threat to our national security. The Subcommittee on Military and Foreign Affairs says drone sightings over military bases have shot up, and U.S. military sites are being exposed to surveillance, espionage, and potential weaponization. Congress today looking to tackle those vulnerabilities and answer the question of who is in charge. Subcommittee Chairman Congressman William Timmons said U.S. agencies' confusion over who's responsible for countering increased drone activity severely hinders our military's ability to respond to threats in real time. As you mentioned, today's hearing, it comes several months after a number of drones were spotted over New Jersey, prompting serious concern for weeks from people who live there. Some of those drones were reportedly sighted over 2 military installations, according to the Department of Defense, though a spokesperson for the Joint Staff called those sightings typical. But a top Northcom and NORAD officer told the Senate Armed Services Committee in February there were 350 uncrewed aircraft systems reported last year over 100 different military installations, telling senators these drones pose a growing threat to safety and security.
Senator, the primary threat I see for them in the way they've been operating is detection and perhaps surveillance of sensitive capabilities on our installations.
The subcommittee chairman for today's hearing in D.C. calling for swift action to defend the American people. Hannah?
A lot of eyes on this, no doubt. Brooke, thank you.
Thank you for...
Okay. So, like I said, they're now investigating this drone stuff. Now, when President Trump got into office, well, even before he got into office, he was saying that he thought that this was a big deal and that the government shouldn't be hiding this from the American people. But then he got into office and they just said, well, there was nobody using drones that shouldn't have been. And then they didn't really follow up on it. They just was like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Well, now we're dealing with this. Now, I don't know if they're bringing this up just to try and increase fear of drones because it has died down, or if this really is a threat to our democracy and if they got to figure this out. Either way, we'll probably have some follow-up videos, and I wouldn't be surprised if we had more drone sightings popping up. It's getting warm outside. People are going to fly drones. That's just the way it's going to be. They're not going anywhere. Now, they haven't been mentioning how they're the size of a Honda Civic. That was like a big detail, and that was one of the reasons that people were concerned about these flying drones, not just flying over their property and spying on their houses, but just the size of the drone itself. Again, they didn't mention that in that video, but we'll see, because I assume we'll have some follow-ups. Next up, Texas bill seeks to end college aid for students without legal status. I have no idea why we would give any kind of aid to illegals. That doesn't make sense, let alone like college tuition and stuff. Really dumb idea, and Texas is talking about cutting that goofy shit out. I think it's a good idea. They should just do away with it. Anyways, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about these people going to testify about the UAPs. Technical stuff happening either way. What's up, Dutton? Happy freedom to you. Trapper, being spies on, let's see, being spies on is now normal. We should all be paid a fee for our creative foolishness. I mean, I agree, Trapper. Told to care, why worry about drones so much when there's satellite imagery? Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. Probably because of the weaponization of drones. Overseas, right, we're always doing bad things with drones. That's just how it goes. But like when they talk about the cartel, right, they said the cartel has recently started weaponizing drones where they drop bombs and stuff like that. So those are, obviously reasons to worry. If you got some random drone flying over your house, you wouldn't want them to do anything bad to you, your property, or your home, or anything like that. And so those are obviously reasons to worry, but the government doesn't ever seem to stand up for us. They only worry about lining their pockets with our tax doll hairs and manipulating us. That seems to be all the government actually cares about. So I don't really know. That's why I said maybe it's just fear. Maybe it's just fear mongering. They want people to be scared of drones right now, so they're putting it back in the news even though the drones aren't in the sky right now. It's kind of hard to say, but either way it's in the news, so we're covering it. Area 16, you got storms heading your way. Well, definitely stay safe. Interesting, Roy. I might have to go back and watch that. For the Texan unidentified aerial pedophiles. That's a good one. I was going to say the hoo-ha word, but it's not Free Speech Saturday. Can't talk like that while YouTube's around. Trapper, YouTube did give me my account back, but I feel like filth if I log in and use it. Yeah, I've showed you guys a million times. This is what my YouTube looks like. It's just a black screen. It's because I turned all the tracking off. So they can't track me. They don't know what ads I watch. They don't know what videos I watch. And I haven't got a strike since I turned all that stuff off. But they don't recommend any videos to me. I can only look for videos if I go type it in. Like if I type in news, it'll list news. And that's all I can do. There is no recommendation for me. Yeah, I feel the same way, Trapper. Being on YouTube is like hanging out in the alley with people doing heroin. But it's not my fault. It's their community guidelines. It's the people that run YouTube. It's not even ran by people. It's ran by AI and shit like that, and it has been for a long time. What's up, Mike T? Happy freedom to you. Kevin, it's Trump's fault. He got them to get rid of Trudeau and was going on about the 51st state stuff. Cost us our election. Kevin, I don't know. I kind of feel like this misplaced blame, but either way, I could understand your frustration. Now, the Orange Eagle himself, speak of the devil, is just magically walking out on stage. Like, I can't believe it. It's 6 o'clock right now. This is the first time in a very long time that President Trump has been right on time. Like, fantastic. More than I can say about myself. I've been late as shit lately, and I apologize to you, hooligans. But either way, grab the link for whatever platform is your favorite where we are live right now and share it out. Hit that like button if you haven't. That way everyone can hear from the president.
Wow. Hello. Hello, Michigan. Thank you very much. Hello, Michigan. Hello. We love you, Michigan. We love you. We just had the biggest victory in Michigan. They said, sir, it's going to be hard. Well, we won it twice. We actually won it 3 times. You want to really know it? He's on fire! But I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful state. I love this state. Got a lot of auto jobs coming. Watch what's happening. The companies are coming in by the tens. You got to see what's happening. They all want to come back to Michigan and build cars again. You know why? Because of our tax and tariff policy. They're coming from all over the world. They're coming up and they're opening up plants and they're talking to us all day and all night. They want to get here and they're coming in at levels you've never seen before. And I want to thank the auto workers for your support. That was great. But I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. And we're here tonight in the heartland of our nation to celebrate the most successful first 100 days of any administration in the history of our country, and that's according to many, many people. This is the best, they say, 100-day start of any president in history, and everyone is saying it. We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet. It's all just kicking in. And week by week, we're ending illegal immigration. We're taking back our jobs and protecting our great American auto workers and all of our workers, frankly. We're protecting all of our workers. We're restoring the rule of law, which was sort of out the window with this crazy guy we had. How the hell did that guy ever become president? Could somebody explain to me? How the hell did that happen? There's my friend, Blacks for Trump. I like that guy. He follows me. He follows me. We love you. Your whole group has been so supportive over the years. I want to thank you. Everyone thinks I pay you a fortune. I don't know. I don't even know who the hell he is. I just like him. It's true. Thank you very much. Thank all of the fellas. Thank them all. But we're ending the inflation nightmare, the worst that we've had probably in the history of our country, getting woke lunacy and transgender insanity the hell out of our government. We're stopping the indoctrination of our children, slashing billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And above all, we're saving the American dream. We're making America great again, and it's happening fast, too. What the world has witnessed in the past 14 weeks is a revolution of common sense. That's all it is, really. We're conservative. You're conservative, you're liberal, whatever the hell. You know what it's all about? It's about common sense when you think about it. We're for common sense. We like strong borders. We like good education. We like low interest rates. We like being able to buy a beautiful car. And now deduct the interest on the loan. That's never happened before. We want a strong military. We want low taxes. You know, the Democrats, they campaign on, we will raise your taxes. It's the first time. You know, I haven't been doing this that long, actually, compared to a lot of people. They've been doing it for a long time. They say, you became president. I can't get out of Congress, or some of them can't even get into Congress. But, you know, I haven't been doing it that long, but all my life I've been watching. And I've never heard people campaigning that they're going to raise taxes. It's always been, we will reduce your taxes, Democrat, Republican. Now they go, we're going to raise your taxes. If our bill doesn't pass, the Republicans, we have 100% just about Republican support, but it would be nice if we had just a couple of Democrats just to make sure, because, you know, every once in a while you have a grandstander Republican. We have some grandstanders, but every once in a while, not many, but remember who those grandstanders were and vote them the hell out of office, okay? Will you do that? Vote them out of office. You know, they do it they're morally bound. You know what the answer is? If you don't get it, you're going to have the highest tax increase in history instead of the greatest tax cut in history. If the Democrats prevail on this bill, you get a 58% tax increase. Would you like that? These are the Democrats. But I've never seen all the years they campaign, we will raise your taxes. I say, this country has gone crazy. And today they did it again. Some guy that I'd never heard of. John James, is he a congressman, this guy? He said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to start the impeachment of Donald Trump. What the hell did I do? Here we go again. They want to impeach me. This lunatic, he was up Actually, I had the television way down, and I said to our great First Lady, listen, did I just hear I was being impeached again? We're getting good at this, though. No, they've gone totally crazy. These people, and you know what? They've totally lost their confidence, too. They can't even tell a lunatic like this dumb guy that said it. And then you have the other one that's always with the cane. He's always impeaching. He raises his cane. He always impeaches. But they have no control over those people. They have no control, and the reason is they've lost their confidence. They have no confidence anymore as a party. They have no candidates. And you know, when they say that Bernie's probably the best they have. By the way, he's about 7 years older than me, more, 8 years older. One thing I got to give him credit, he's a lunatic, but he's still pretty sharp. And he's going around with AOC +3. You know, the +3 follow him. They hang on for little bits. They hang on for nuggets. And they get crowds. They say, oh, our crowds are so much bigger than their crowds. Their crowds are small. If I ever had a crowd like their biggest crowd, they'd say it's over for Trump. He's lost the magic. But this is great, and all the people outside, we love you. We put screens up. We're taking back our country from a sick political class that got rich selling America out and bleeding America dry. We don't let that happen anymore. And we had 4 great years. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. The stock market went up 88%. We did great. And we're going to do better now, because now we learned a little bit. After years of leaders who sent your money to defend the borders of distant foreign nations, that's what we did. We'd fight for other nations, but not for ourselves. You finally have a president who is defending our borders and our nation. After decades of politicians who destroyed Detroit to build up Beijing, you finally have a champion for workers in the White House, and instead of putting China first, I'm putting Michigan first, and I'm putting America first. After a lifetime of unelected bureaucrats stealing your paychecks, attacking your values, and trampling your freedoms, we are stopping their gravy train, ending their power trip, and telling thousands of corrupt, incompetent, and unnecessary deep state bureaucrats, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get out of here. In 100 days, we have delivered the most profound change in Washington in nearly 100 years. I read an editorial today that this is the most consequential presidency in history. How about that? And it wasn't even by a group that would normally be supporting us. It was a group of people that I think they tend to be on the liberal side, but they said it's the most important election. The November 5th, it changed it all. You have to see, well, you hear some of these numbers, but that is the most consequential election that we've ever had in our country. And what a nice thing. I'm going to start again subscribing to that particular paper. Even if I don't read it much, I'm going to subscribe. But it was a very nice compliment, especially from them. They know who I'm talking about. We're ushering out the long reign of special interests and the radical left lunatics, and we're ushering in the golden age of America. That's what we have. Right? Front row Joe. Look at you, front row Joes. I miss you guys. I miss the campaign. You haven't changed. You've lost a couple of pounds. Oh, he's probably getting to one of those jabbers. You've lost a couple of pounds. You look good. And I have Mr. Wall here. This guy. How many rallies have you gone to? Like hundreds, and we love him here. The Wall. One day I'm going to get that suit, and I'm going to wear it on stage. We appreciate it, fellas. Great. Thank you. You know, we have a group of ladies. I don't know if they're here, but we have a group of women from North Carolina, a large group, like 50 of the most beautiful women, and they've been to 129 rallies. They're happily married, I think, too. They just keep going to rallies all the time. But they're great. North Carolina, where we won by big numbers. Nowhere has this transformation been more dramatic than our southern border. You have seen a change on your southern border that Sleepy Joe said couldn't happen. Sleepy Joe, the worst president in history, said it couldn't happen. The last administration engineered a massive border invasion, allowing gangs, cartels, and terrorists to infiltrate our communities and rape and murder our citizens, and that is being nice about it. That's actually being nice about it. They are the worst. But standing before you today, I can proudly report that this heinous betrayal is over and that we have achieved the most secure border in American history by far. In American history. For 2 months in a row, we have now set all-time records, and this is by the media, the fake news media, which most of it is fake. We've set all-time records for the lowest number of illegal border crossings ever recorded. Think of that, ever recorded. The number of illegal border crossers released into the United States is down, listen to this please, 99.999%. Think of that, 99.999. 3 people got in. 3. And I got angry as hell at Tom Homan. How did you allow 3, Tom? I called up Christy. Christy Noem's doing a great job, Tom Homan. I said, how did you allow 3 people? No, they allowed a few in for medical reasons. They had a couple of were very sick. The ones that got in were really very sick, and we had to take care of them, but it was a few people. But 3 people got in versus hundreds of thousands in the last administration. Hundreds of thousands a month were pouring in. Biden had no control. Thank goodness he appointed a great border czar, right? Kamala. She was a great candidate. She was fantastic. Joe Biden was down 35 points. The debate was not a good one for him. He said, you know, if I didn't debate, I could have gone all the way. He was down 35 points, and they decided to replace him. Nothing ever happens like what happens to me. It never happens to anybody else. I had to beat 2 candidates, so he's down. This is like you're in a fight. Dana White, the UFC, you're in a fight, and you're just beating the guy so badly, and they say, oh, let's put in another fighter. That's what happened. And I knew nothing about her. She was vice president, but nobody knew a damn thing about her. She had nothing to do with the border, even though she was appointed border czar. The great people, all of the great people, Paul and all of the Border Patrol people, they never spoke to her. They never heard about her. For 4 years, she never called. But there's never been such a difference in anything as the difference between the border today and the border what it was just 6 months ago. So I want to say congratulations, America. It's about time. If we had not won the 2024 election, oh, does that sound good, right? We won the 24, all that work. The radical left Democrats would right now be importing the next 10 million invaders and giving amnesty to 30 or 40 million illegals, many of them criminals, many of them frankly, murderers and people of crime at the absolute highest level. Real bad people. It would only be a matter of years or months until America itself became a failed third world nation. That was happening to us. We were going to be a third world nation. I'll tell you what, if these guys won, if this group of radical lunatics, and by the way, you know, Biden, we find out that whoever operated the auto pen was the real president, and Biden knew nothing about it. You know, he had a group of radical left guys who were very smart, and a woman, a particular woman. Very, very smart people. These are not stupid people. These are sick people, but they're not stupid people. And they were very smart. What they're best at is cheating at election. They cheat on elections. That's their single greatest trait. They cheat like hell. And let me tell you, they tried to cheat on this election, but we made it too big to rig. Remember? Too big to rig. They tried. I watched those numbers. We had Elon with us. Elon is a smart guy. Elon was with us. Elon Musk. And I was sitting with Dana White and Elon Musk, and I'm watching the numbers in Pennsylvania, and we're winning so easily. Then all of a sudden it flatlined. And I said, I think they're cheating again. Look at this. What's going on? I think they're cheating again. And Elon looked at us. He goes, no, you're going to win. They just don't know it yet. And about 15 minutes later, we won, sort of crazy. I'll never forget. You're going to win. They just don't know it yet. But you know what? We made it too big to rig. It was too big. Starting on day one, I deployed the U.S. military to defend our country from the invasion of our border. I shut down all migrant flights. Do you remember when we're talking about people coming in, they're trying to deny it, okay? People are flowing in. They say, no, I don't see any people. It's like, what's wrong? But then we saw airplanes going overhead. We said, what the hell are those airplanes doing? Big Boeing 757s were traveling right overhead, loaded up with people. I say, where the hell are those planes going? They were loaded up with migrants coming in illegally, flying in by plane, paid for by the U.S. government. I'll tell you, they are sick. Remember that day? That was the day we found out that not only do we have to defend it here, we have to defend it not only in the water, but we have to defend it in the air. The planes were going over us. I said, what the hell is that? I banned all welfare to illegals, and I signed an order that will end automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens. No citizenship. For years, Joe Biden and the media told us that stopping the flood of illegal immigration was absolutely impossible. He said it was impossible. He didn't know what the hell anybody was talking about. He said it was impossible, that the president had no power to stop what was needed in the form of legislation. He needed legislation. He had no power to get it. But it turned out that all we needed was a new president. Within days of taking office, I signed the Laken Riley Act. Laken Riley, beautiful Laken Riley, who was killed by an illegal immigrant, viciously, violently killed. But I signed the Laken Riley Act to facilitate the expulsion of dangerous criminal aliens, and when necessary, we had to put them in jail. We couldn't take a chance that they'd come back in again. In recent weeks, ICE, who are great, these people are great, has arrested dozens of child rapists, along with murderers, kidnappers, drug traffickers, and thieves, and frankly, people from mental institutions. We've designated 6 murderous Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We have also designated 2 bloodthirsty transnational gangs, MS-13 and Trendiaragua, TDA. They've been designated the highest level of terrorists, and that lets us do a lot of things that you wouldn't be able to do. We got to get them out of here before they kill more people. They've killed plenty. My administration has increased arrests of known and suspected terrorists by 655%. Is that okay? We tried to get it higher. But the courts are giving us a hard time. Can you believe? I won on the basis of, I think the number one thing was on illegal immigration, the border, the people pouring across our border that are from all over the world. They're unbelievably bad, in many cases, unbelievably bad people. I think that was the number one thing. And now the courts are trying to say that, that doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to be allowed to stand. Democrats have vowed mass invasion and mass migration. We are delivering mass deportation, and it's happening very fast. And the worst of the worst are being sent to a no-nonsense prison in El Salvador. Why don't you watch this? Watch this. Take a look.
César Eliseo Soto Mala.
So under President Trump, America is a dumping ground for criminals no longer. They're not even trying to come in. But while we're fighting to protect Americans, the radical left Democrats, who are so bad for this country, are fighting to protect TDA, you just saw that, and MS-13 criminals, and you don't even know which is worse, but they are the top of the line. For years, Democrat politicians did not raise one word of protest as American women and girls were raped and slaughtered by these monsters. They were raped and slaughtered by numbers that you don't even want to hear about. But the second we try to deport them, the radical Democrat Party is racing to the defense of some of the most violent savages on the face of the earth. Who the hell would vote for these people? They're racing to the courts to help them. But this is not what the people want. This is not what they voted for in record numbers. I won the election. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. And we got 312 electoral college votes. And just this month, 2 Venezuelan members of TDA, Tren de Aragua, were arrested in Washington state for kidnapping a 58-year-old woman driving a power drill through her hand to extort her bank account information, shooting her, leaving her for dead. And miraculously, she just survived, but she's not feeling so well. In January, Tren de Aragua member in Chicago kidnapped 3 women, took them in an alley, lined them up, and shot them each in the head. They all died. And the FBI recently assessed that these vicious gangs have been sent by the foreign regime in Venezuela to foment violence and instability in the United States of America. Can't let that happen. And it's not just, in all fairness, not Venezuela. It's all over the world. It's all over. They come in from the Congo. They come in from Africa. The Congo, they emptied out their prisons into our country. But they come from Africa, Asia, South America. They come from all over bad parts of Europe. That's why we've invoked the Alien Enemies Act to expel every foreign terrorist from our soil as quickly as possible. Never forget the same people that we now claim we're just not taking this crap anymore. We can't. They're claiming that we're not allowed to deport illegals, and they're the ones who orchestrated an 8-year campaign to jail their political opponents. Do you know what I mean? They want to jail. They want to jail. That's all they can do, jail their political opponents. What they did to people is a disgrace. And now they come after us. Why are you not nice to them? Why are you not nice to them? They tried to jail your president. They tried to jail. Except for the really courageousness of a few very good judges, you know, we could have been calling you from the other side of the bar saying, hey, fellas, how about a little protest? How about a little protest? But they cheered the assassination of CEOs, looted our cities, and destroyed our property. No, they tried to jail our politicians, and they tried to jail a lot of people, many of whom didn't even know what the hell they were being looked at for. These people are criminals. If they had their way, we would be living in a third world hellhole. That's what they want. Removing the invaders is not just a campaign pledge. It's my solemn duty as Commander-in-Chief. I have an obligation to do it. Save our country. And that's why we got, despite the fake polls, you know, they do these polls where they interview far more Democrats than Republicans. I saw them over the last few days, and I had them checked out. They interview far more Democrats for the polls. They interview Democrats by big numbers and then Republicans by small. They say, Trump only has a 44% approval rating. Well, it's actually not bad. But when you figure that if it were a legit poll, it would be in the 60s or 70s. These people are a bunch of crooked people. No, they interview more Democrats than Republicans. In other words, they take the poll and they interview Democrats. They poll Democrats. And then they say, they try and depress it as much, just like they write bad stories. 97% of the stories written about me, think of it, were negative, and yet we won in a landslide because they have no credibility. And also, we cannot allow a handful of communist, radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws and assume the duties that belong solely to the President of the United States. Judges are trying to take away the power given to the President to keep our country safe, and it's not a good thing. But I hope, for the sake of our country, that the Supreme Court is going to save this, because we have to do something. These people are just looking to destroy our country. Nothing will stop me in the mission to keep America safe again. It's very simple. Keep America safe again. And our first 100 days have also produced historic results in the battle to defeat Biden's inflation disaster and bring jobs and wealth back to America and bring them back to Michigan, okay? We want to bring them back. As an example, since I took office, the cost of eggs is down 87%. Now, right? You remember a few weeks ago, before Thanksgiving, we heard about it before. I heard about it a long time ago. Before Thanksgiving, I heard about it. And then I was hearing that I wasn't president. This guy was barely president. Nobody knew, was he president? Who the hell was president? To this day, I say it was the one that operated the auto pen, but what do I know? But I was hearing about eggs, and then all of a sudden we have a great election victory. And my first week in office, they start screaming at me, "What about the price of eggs? Eggs, eggs." I said, I've only been here for 6 days. I was there 6 days. I said, what's wrong with eggs? They said, the price of eggs has gone through the roof and you won't be able to have them for Easter. So I put our very capable Brooke Rollins, who's our wonderful Commissioner of Agriculture that you know in Michigan. I said, Brooke, I've only been here 6 days before I heard, maybe even less, maybe 5, maybe 4. But it was my first week. And I said, Brooke, you got to save me here. I'm getting killed about eggs. What the hell's going on with eggs? She said, well, you can't get them. The price is through the roof, and it looks like we're going to have a real problem for Easter. You're not going to have eggs. I said, Brooke, that doesn't sound politically viable to me. That doesn't sound good. Because nobody's going to believe me when you get out there that it's Sleepy Joe Biden's fault. So, Brooke, you got to get going, Brooke, please. And she did a great job. And you had so many eggs for Easter, and your price was down 87% from that point. Prices are coming way down. You know, the fake news doesn't say. They said, he pledged. Now, I pledged safe borders. I pledged all sorts of things. But they said, he pledged to bring prices down. Well, that's what I've done. They're trying to say the prices have gone up. Your energy, your car, your gasoline, they have 3 states this week, a couple of days ago, that were $1.98 a gallon. So gasoline prices are down by a lot. Energy prices are down. Mortgage rates actually just went down. Prescription drug prices just saw their largest monthly decline ever recorded. How about that? Remember what you heard. Prescription drug prices just took the biggest plunge ever since they've recorded the prices, which have basically gone up, except for my 4 years. They did pretty well, but we got to know that system. The system is a bad system, but they just took the biggest dive. ever in the history of prescription drug prices. Think of that. That's a big thing. I got to say it again and again because they will never tell you that. The fake news will never tell you that. Grocery prices have gone down. Everything's gone down. And yet I saw this person on MSDNC, which I think is probably even worse than CNN. It's probably worse. Probably worse than CNN. But I saw this horrible, horrible anchor. How these people get jobs. I wouldn't hire them to do the most menial of chores. But I saw this person. He campaigned on bringing prices down. Every price has gone down. What am I going to do? I mean, think of it. Gasoline was almost $4 not so long ago. And now, Mike, we just hit $1.98 in a lot of states. Think of it. And they're saying, and you know what? And inflation is basically down. And interest rates came down despite the fact that I have a Fed person who's not really doing a good job, but I won't say that. I want to be very nice. I want to be very nice and respectful to the Fed. You're not supposed to criticize the Fed. You're supposed to let him do his own thing. But I know much more than he does about interest rates, believe me. Core inflation has reached the lowest rate in 4 years. And last month, we had the largest drop in consumer prices since the pandemic. This is all done in 100 days. Think of that. This is all done in 100 days. But when you watch the fake news, you see fake polls. Again, they poll more Democrats than Republicans. Democrats aren't going to say, I'm going to vote for Trump. And we still got 45, 44%. But on the legitimate polls, I think we're in the 60s. I think we're in the 60s or 70s or something. In 3 months, we have created 350,000 jobs. Think of that. For the first time in recent memory, job gains for native-born Americans now exceed job gains for foreign workers. This is for the first time, and nobody even knows when, Americans now are doing better than foreign workers. How about that? I mean, that's okay. I want everyone to do well, but that's okay. And to curb inflation, we're cutting a record number of job-killing regulations. We beat in the 4-year first administration, which was a tremendous success. We cut more regulations than any president in history, including 2-term presidents, including Roosevelt, who was more than a 2-term president. We cut more regulations than any president in history in 1 term, and now our 2nd term. And, you know, I don't know why. It was so important to win because they used to say, the fake news, to be a great president, you have to serve 2 terms. So now we're going to serve 2 terms. Now they've taken that one. Cross. Right? Right, Dr. Oz? Cross that one off. Cross that one off. No, they say it all the time. When I was out, they say, well, they go out through it. Make America great again. Thank you. Thank you. Sure. But we've ended the radical left. Well, we actually already served 3, but if you count. But remember, I like the victories. I like the 3 victories, which we absolutely had. I just don't like the results of the middle term, the results. I don't want those results, John. I don't want those results. What results? What a disgrace. If we would have had this group for another year, we wouldn't have a country left. I really mean it. I don't think we would have had a country left. And now we're respected all over the world. They're coming from all over the world to see you, President. They're coming from India. They're coming from France. They're coming from Spain. Yeah, they're coming from China, too. Yeah, they're coming from China. They're coming from all over the world to see you, President. They want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. And, you know, we'll make deals, but we don't have to. We are the ones that have the product. We are the ones at the United States. They want a piece of our product. We can just set the price. But I want to be respectful and I want to be nice. But if it takes too long, I'll just set a price. Say, you could buy or you don't have to buy. We lost, think of this, we lost billions and billions of dollars a day. Billions, not millions, billions of dollars a day. And under Sleepy Joe Biden. What's better, Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe? Ready? A poll, a free poll. Because these pollsters are so corrupt. This is a real poll. We're going to poll Crooked Joe or Sleepy Joe. Ready? What's a better name for us to call him? Sleepy Joe? Or Crooked Joe?
Prostitute.
Huge. I'm not surprised. This happens. I sort of loved Sleepy Joe, you know, it just had a nice ring to it. Because he had one ability I didn't have. He goes to the beach, right? And he could fall asleep on a cottage, drooling out of the side of his mouth, and he'd be sleeping within minutes, carrying the aluminum chair, you know, the kind that's meant for old people and children to carry. It weighs like about 4 ounces. And he couldn't get his feet out of the sand. And he'd sleep, he'd fall in this thing, and he'd have, you know, he's president, so you'd have cameras. He'd be in a bathing suit. Somebody convinced him that he looks great in a bathing suit. He's 82 years old. Cary Grant didn't look great in a bathing suit when he was 82. You don't look great. You know, at some point you have other assets, okay? But that's not right. But he'd go and he'd walk in the sand and he'd fall into that thing, and within seconds he was sleeping. I'd be tossing and turning and scheming and thinking and saying, how am I going to beat China? How am I going to stop the war with Russia and Ukraine? This guy could fall asleep with cameras blazing, right? Not too many cameras were blazing, but enough were blazing that you saw it. I thought it was a great ability that he had, actually. We've ended the radical left war on American energy. We've stopped their crusade on coal. Did you see what I did the other day? Clean, beautiful coal. I said, you're not allowed to use the word coal unless you say clean, beautiful coal. So you have guys getting up, Department of Energy. We have great people at Department of Energy. They talk about clean, beautiful coal. You know, China uses coal. They're opening up a coal plant every week. A massive coal plant, but we're not allowed to use it, but now we are, because last week I gave it absolute, total approval. And you know what I don't give approval to? Those stupid windmills that go round and round and round. And we've ended the Green New Scam. We've reopened ANWR, the greatest drilling site anywhere in the world, in Alaska, and implemented the new energy policy of the United States. You know what it is? We have a policy. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. That's our policy. That's our policy, Michael, right? Great Michael Whatley, head of the Republican Party. He's done a good job. Him and Laura, they took the party by storm, right? He had a good candidate, but had a couple of good candidates, didn't he? Michael's been incredible, actually. Michael Whatley, North Carolina. He watched in 2020. He did so good for me. And, you know, he was in North Carolina. He did so great. What's the problem over there? What's the problem? Is that a radical left lunatic? He's just a child. All right, get him out. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was a guy. Thank you.
Prostitute.
And she now has to go home to a mother who's a big Trump fan. Her mother's watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said he, and it's a she. I'm sorry. To keep my promise to the great state of Michigan, I terminated Joe Biden's insane electric vehicle mandate, where you were mandated to buy an electric vehicle. You were mandated within just a few years to buy an electric vehicle. How about that? And you know what? They're great, but people don't. Not everybody wants them. You got to be able to buy a hybrid, a gasoline-powered car. You can buy lots of different cars, but you can't be mandated to do anything. And I've already proudly imposed a 25% tariff on all foreign automobiles. Any foreign car, like they do to us. This is going to create more jobs in this state and this country, and to help these automakers bring their factories home as rapidly as possible, I've just signed an executive order to give partial tariff rebates to any company that assembles its cars right here in the U.S. In other words, if they can't make it in time because they have to do it here, otherwise they have it, I'm giving them a little bit of a break, right? They took in parts from all over the world. I don't want that. I want them to make their parts here. But I gave them a little bit of time. It's 15% and then 10% of the parts, so it's not so bad. Somebody would say, oh, well, that's a change in parts. It's not. It's called a little flexibility. The guys were crying. They love it. Everything's good. But just in case we can't get everything in time, we gave them a little bit. So it's 15% of the parts, and then it's 10% of the parts. We give them a little time before we slaughter them if they don't do this. Right? They're going to make so much money. They're going to have so many jobs. No, but jobs are way up. Jobs are way up. We're pleased to be joined tonight by Brian Panebecker. Do you know who that is? Of the Auto Workers for Trump. And Brian is a union guy, loves the unions, loves everything, but he knew that Trump was right. Brian, come up here, Brian. I got to see Brian. Look at the arms in this guy. Look at the arms.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a great honor to be here on your 100th day in office of your second term.
This guy normally blows the mic out.
And I just want to remind you of something I told you at one of your last rallies before the election. I've got it on video. I've watched it dozens of times at home. After I was able to speak, I turned to you and I said, Mr. President, Macomb County is going to win Michigan for you. And that's exactly what happened. We had a margin of victory of 70,000 votes in this county alone. Thank you, Macomb County. You know, I met President Trump 8 years ago in Novi, and we had never met before, and as I was stepping towards him backstage to get my picture taken, I knew I only had 10, 15 seconds to say something to him before we got our pictures. Fortunately, my son was standing behind me, so I've got a witness to this. And I said, Mr. Trump, we've got the keys to the White House waiting for you in Macomb County. And he kind of chuckled. He said, oh, yeah, how's that? And I said, well, Macomb County is the home of the Reagan Democrats. If you come to Macomb County and you ask for their support and you get it, you might win Macomb County big enough to carry the whole state of Michigan. And that's exactly what he did. So I want to say thank you to the auto workers, everybody who works in the automotive field, the suppliers, every one of you, the truck drivers. Thank you so much for supporting the greatest president in our lifetimes. Now, I've got a little business announcement I want to make. I hope the president doesn't mind. But when I was backstage with him earlier and got my picture taken, I said, Mr. President, I've got a deal that you can't refuse. And he said, what's that? And I said, well, I'm writing a book, and it's going to be about my political journey. I've been involved in some things here in Michigan, conservative causes like right to work and the Michigan Civil Rights Initiative. And I said, you have a publishing company, Winning Team Publishing. It's run by Don Jr. and his partner. I said, I'll agree to use your publishing company if you agree to write the foreword to my book. He stuck out his hand and said, I'll do it. That's how you negotiate with the best negotiator in the world. So listen, I got one last thing to say. All of us have a job to do. Number one, we have to win the 2026 elections. It has to happen. Sri Thanadar, that lunatic Democrat from Detroit, is already threatening to impeach President Trump if they get the majority back. But luckily, right now, we've got good people in Congress like Congressman John James over here who are stopping that from happening. But listen up. So we got to get out, and we don't have any time to waste. We got to start talking to our friends, our neighbors, our family, our coworkers. The campaign for 2026 starts tomorrow. We've got to win that election. So the work is not over. The work has just begun. November 5th was not the end. It was the beginning of the golden age. And let's all tell President Trump how much we support what he's done the first 100 days in office. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's one other thing I wanted to say in front of all these thousands of people to President Trump. President Trump, I love you.
Thank you. Good man. He's a great guy. You know, he was with me from day one, 2015. Before 2016, he was there from day one. He got it. He said, we're losing our car industry. That's what he really cared about. He just said, I've had so many friends who were laid off. It's horrible. They lay us off like it's nothing. And the business went to China, it went to Japan, went to all countries all over the world. They're laying us off, sir. And then he said, we can solve that. I told him, we can solve that so fast. He's one of the early people that got it, and we've solved it. We're going to be doing numbers that nobody's ever believed. We'll be the #1 in the world again. Nobody can believe it because we have been beaten up so badly by these countries that have rigged the whole thing. They fight like hell. They're smart. Their product is good, but our product's going to be a lot better. We're going to do something that nobody believes, and he saw it right at the beginning. So I appreciate it, Brian. And he was there at that. I love the guys from the beginning. I love those early guys. Those guys are right there. They were there from the beginning, too. No, you're going to see numbers, and you're already seeing them. Look, you know, we have many Hondas coming in, and they're coming in. We let them build their cars here. We don't want them to build them in Japan. We love Japan. We don't want them building them in Japan. We want them to build them here. We want China to build them in here. We want them all to build them right in here. That's what they've done to us for 40 years, and they've drained us. Now we're doing it to them at a better level than they ever dreamed possible. To further rebuild the industrial bedrock of our country, I've imposed 25% tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel. It's keeping our steel mills going. I did that. If I didn't do that with steel in my first term, we wouldn't have a steel mill in the United States right now, and everybody knows it. I did it for washing machines, too, by the way. That's why I asked the people at Whirlpool. They were going to close. They were in deep trouble. I did it because they were dumping machines. I did a 50% tariff, was going to raise it to 100%. They didn't even have to bother. They became a tremendously successful company overnight. They were ready to close. They came to me with tears in their eyes in my office early on, first term. And we're doing it now at levels never seen before, and the results are going to be even better, because we've been abused by friend and foe. And in many cases, friend has abused us more so than foe on trade. So I want to just let you know you're going to be very proud of this country very soon. And with my China tariffs, we're ending the greatest job theft in the history of the world. China's taken more jobs from us than any country has ever taken from another country. And that doesn't mean we're not going to get along. We get along with China. I mean, their tariff now is at 145%. So essentially, that's a big difference between that and zero. But I think it's going to work out. They want to make a deal, and we're going to make a deal, but it's going to be a fair deal. It's not going to be a deal that we lose $1 trillion a year like they did with Biden. That guy was so bad. He was so bad. Under Biden. And remember this, we were losing $5 billion a day on trade, and now we're making money. We're actually making money instead of, do you know what 5 billion, think of that, Mike, how many pillows do you have to make to lose $5 billion? You can make them for 1,000 years. No, we were losing $5 billion a year. Now we've got it where we're making money, and the tariffs haven't even really kicked in. The 25% on cars have. But you know what that means? That means that you're going to make the cars. We don't need the cars from outside. When they say, oh, sir, we want to send you a lot of cars, I said, we really don't want your cars. We really don't want. We want to make our own cars. That includes Canada. That includes Mexico. who have taken a tremendous amount of our business. Canada's taken off a tremendous, like 10, 12%. Mexico is 32%. They took 32% of our car production. We don't want them to have that. We want that. Why are we giving it to them? Why are we subsidizing Canada $200 billion a year? Why are we subsidizing Mexico for $300 billion a year? There's no reason for it. I'm proud to be the president for the workers and not the outsourcers, the president who stands up for Main Street, not Wall Street. You know, I like Wall Street. I like Wall Street. I have a gorgeous, beautiful building on Wall Street, 40 Wall Street. Anybody? You want a little space? I'll get you some space real quickly. Now I've got one of the most beautiful buildings in the world on Wall Street, but I still like Main Street because you're Main Street. I want Main Street over Wall Street. And we want to protect the middle class, not the political class. That's all. I haven't done this very long. We want to protect our people. You know, this is the greatest, when you think about this, look, here we are, it's not even like election, it's after the election. And you have crowds like this, and to have them, we're going to do the commencement at University of Alabama. And they just called and they said, it's going to be the biggest crowd we've ever had we've never had a crowd like this. And I'm doing it at West Point, and they called and said the same thing. We love West Point, we love University of Alabama. We love Alabama. You know what I won Alabama by? Like almost 50 points. So when they called and they said, would you like to do the commencement? I said, okay, I'll do it. But they're going to have the biggest crowd they ever had by maybe 4 or 5 times. They told me, thanks for all of the things that we've done and to our policies. Trillions of dollars are now pouring into the United States because of common sense, just common sense. Apple, great company, was building everything in China. Now they just announced that they're spending $500 billion to invest in America, not in China. My friend Jensen from NVIDIA, they're spending, you know what NVIDIA is? They're spending $500 billion. TSMC, the biggest chip maker in the world by far from Taiwan, they're spending $200 billion in the United States. Amazon, $21 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. The Mac, $20 billion. Merck, Stellantis, General Motors are putting in billions and billions of dollars, and many other companies. And as a result of our policies, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. They have a poll, a crazy poll, probably a fake poll too, so I don't know, I don't care. But first time ever, I think ever, that they're saying the country is headed in the right direction. Has never happened before. I don't know why. But we've accomplished more in 3 months than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or even 8 years, and we're just getting started. Believe me, we're just getting started. We're pleased to be joined by some great people. A person that number one, I have so much confidence in him. The fake news is after him, really after him, but he's a tough cookie. They don't know how tough he is. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Pete. Wow, that's pretty good. How are the Hooties doing? Not too good, right? They're not. Our new administrator of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, somebody that everybody knows, but this guy, you know, the show was a big success, but sometimes it hurts your image to have a television show. He's the top, he went to Harvard. I shouldn't even mention that anymore because that used to be a good thing. Today it doesn't mean much. But he went to University of Pennsylvania Medical School, top student, top doctor, top everything. One of the smartest guys in medicine, also a big star, Dr. Mehmet Oz. Dr. Oz, thank you, doctor. Thank you. A man who waited today just came here. He was all sweaty and grimy. I said, what the hell happened? He ran into the building because he wanted to vote in Congress, and I hear we passed the vote. John James by a lot, right? And thank you for making it here. He had a vote. I said, John, do me a favor, stay and vote. We're voting essentially on the big, beautiful, that gorgeous, big, beautiful bill. I said, you know, I want you there badly, but you got to vote, please. So thank you very much, John. Good job. Michigan House Speaker Matt Hall. Matt, thank you. Thank you, Matt. Michigan Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt. Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. Michigan GOP Chair Jim Runstead. Thank you, Jim. Good job. Nice tie. Thank you, Jim. Great job. One of my favorite people. I mean, we just had such success. You know, we had so many votes stolen in 2020, and then this guy came in, and they didn't steal him from his state, North Carolina, I told you. But they didn't steal him. He had 601 lawyers, and they had lawyers at every voting booth. And I said, who is that guy that did so well? Because we won the state. Other states, you know, they inched us out, you know, at the end, they just inched us out, crooked as hell. But this guy didn't let that happen. His name is Michael Whatley, North Carolina, and now he's the head of the Republican Party, RNC, and he's great. And I must tell you, he worked with a great woman, my daughter-in-law, Laura, who was unbelievable, who's got a very successful television show. That was a tremendous combination. That was a very important combination. Also the great, and you see him on television, he's unbelievable. Hey, Stephen, come up here fast. The great Stephen Miller. Do we like Stephen? Where is Stephen? Come here, Stephen. I love this guy. I love this guy. There is nobody smarter or tougher than Stephen Miller. Stephen, say a couple.
Who's enjoying 100 golden days of America? President Trump has achieved the most secure border in American history. He's fighting violent crime. He's fighting the drug cartels. He's cutting your taxes. He's cutting wasteful spending. He's draining the swamp. He's standing up to the radical left. He's standing up to the communists, and he's making America stronger than it's ever been. President Trump will never stop fighting for you, your children, and your family, and President Trump will make sure that in this country, not illegal aliens, not criminals, not gangbangers, but American citizens come first, last, and always. Thank you. And thank you, President Trump, for being the greatest president in American history.
He's on fire. He's great. This guy, he is something special. And he's been with us right from day one. Right from day one, Stephen's been there, right? He's been great. A man who put on about 928 rallies for me. We didn't have a glitch. Justin Caparel. Justin, thank you, wherever you are. He's probably backstage working. We did over 900 of these. Thank you, Justin. And Margot Martin. Does anyone know Margot? Beautiful Margot. I call her the world's greatest photographer. Where is Margot? Margot's great. Where are you, Margot? And she's very shy, actually. She's both beautiful and shy. Thank you. Where? Margot, come up here, Margot. Come up. Come on. You got it. This is the most beautiful. Now, look, I'm not allowed to say this. It's the end of my political career, but I'm going to say it anyway. She's the most beautiful photographer in the world. I don't know if she's the best, but she's the most beautiful.
Trump 2028, anybody?
Make America great again.
People love Margot. And how about Caroline? How's Caroline doing? How is our Caroline doing? Caroline has taken the world by storm. She's taken it. And, you know, we have a man here that I don't know, but he's defending me all the time on CNN. And he defends me really well, but he can't go too far, because if he goes too far, he'll get fired. I said, you're amazing. You can take it right to the edge. And he really does a good job. He's not allowed to go any further. He would be off, you know, if he really went totally crazy, which he'd like to do. But I think he's terrific. Scott Jennings. Where's Scott? Where are you, Scott? Come here, Scott. This guy, really, I've watched him for years. I don't know him, but he likes Trump. Come here, Scott. Oh, CNN, this is the end of Scott. Who cares? Don't worry, we'll take care of you, Scott. Scott Jennings, really great.
Thank you. Michigan. We were flying in here today, and I said, look at these farms. I got to get a farm in Michigan, because when you own as many libs as I do, you got to put a place to put them all. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Scott. And I also want to thank the rest of the Michigan Republican delegation for all the work they do in Congress and who are back in Washington working on the big, beautiful bill. We're going to name it, I think, the big, beautiful bill. In 100 days, I've taken more than 1,000 executive actions, and I could recite our accomplishments all night long. And by the way, did you just see what I did? Straws. I wiped out the paper straw, little thing. These are the little things. Your sink. You ever try buying a new sink and no water comes out? Your shower heads, your toilets, the whole thing, it's a disaster. We now have it so you can have as much water as you want because it's not an environmental problem. You have areas that can't get rid of their water, and yet they put restrictors on them. You used to take them off, but now you can't because they're welded in, but now you don't have to worry about that because we've opened up your faucets and we've opened up, especially me. I don't like taking a shower where the water goes drip, drip, drip onto my luxuriant hair. I need a lot of water. I need everything I can get. I don't need to be under a shower trying to get water to come out of that damn thing. So we've opened up the shower heads, the faucets, the toilets, the washing machines that don't give you water. All of that stuff has been opened up, and we're giving you gas ovens, gas stoves, if you'd like. No more electric. You can have electric if you want. I have a lot of friends, they like gas better. You're supposed to sell your gas stove or get it, I don't know, who do you sell it to? Maybe another country, because we're the only country that would be so stupid to that. But the stoves now, you can have gas stoves, all you want. Put 4 of them in your kitchen. I couldn't care less. It's all common sense. People were so angry about that. Remember? They were all angry. Get rid of your gas stove. You have to go to electric. There's something they have with electric that's amazing. And by the way, Elon makes a great car, but not everybody's going to want it. You know, they all say, oh, well, Trump he's under the thumb of Elon. Do you think Elon was happy about ending the all-electric mandate? I don't think he was too happy, but he's a great guy. You know, honestly, never said a thing. He says, let me just compete fairly. By the way, it's not fair what they've done to him, too. That is a disgrace. That is a disgrace. But he's a great guy, and he's really helped us. And, you know, they've saved $150 billion on waste, fraud, and abuse, Doge. So we want to thank him. He's an incredible guy. Anybody that can land a rocket ship. I saw this thing come in. I said, you got to be kidding. This rocket's coming in. You know, most of them go right into the ocean. But he lands it. I was on the phone with somebody talking, and I saw this thing coming in. It's spinning out of control, coming down. It's all burning. It's on fire. It looks like hell. I said, well, just another rocket going into the ocean. And then all of a sudden you see the fire pouring out of the engines, and it starts to slow up, slow. Then it's straight. Then it starts moving over a little bit. Then I say, oh, no, it's hitting the gantry. It's going to hit. And the engines go, straightens it up. And it gets hugged like you hug your beautiful little baby, right? And I said, who the hell did that? It was Elon. And he told me, you don't have a space program if you have to drop $1 billion machine into the water every time you fly. You have to save those suckers. So he does. He's an amazing guy, and he's a great American, and he loves our country. He loves you. And he's paid a big price to help. But I have a feeling it's going to end up being good for him, actually. I really do. I established the new Presidential Commission to Make America Healthy Again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's doing a good job, Dr. Oz, right? He's doing a good job. And he's a little bit different. But I want to tell you, he's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he loves this country. Just last week, Bobby announced that we're banning 8 major artificial dyes from our food supply. Sounds good to me. And on day one, I created that right now, very successful Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon. That was a big thing doing that. I mean, the numbers are really incredible. Doge. So it was a very big thing. We terminated the left-wing money laundering scam known as USAID. How about the money that was going out? How about the money that was going out? Billions and billions. They were giving individual people billions of dollars. Can you believe it? People that had nothing, they got $1 billion. One got $2 billion. $2 billion for the environment. Had $100 in the bank. You got $2 billion. Not $2 million. You know, $2 million would have been a lot. 200,000 would have been a lot, but it would have been fine. $2 billion. And we directed all federal workers to return to the office in person, or unfortunately, they're fired. You're fired. You know, some of these guys got their golf handicap way down during the so-called time where they're supposed to be working at home. You know, they weren't working at home. Who the hell would work at home? How do you work at home? It's terrible. And we found a lot of them where they had second jobs. They were just taking us for a ride. They're all taking us for a ride. The foreign countries were really taking us for a ride, both on military and on trade. But we stopped it, and we're stopping it. I withdrew from the unfair and ridiculous Paris Climate Accord, where we were paying trillions of dollars. We would have spent numbers like you wouldn't believe, and China wouldn't have spent anything, Russia wouldn't have spent anything, India wouldn't have spent, but we would have spent over $1 trillion. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization, where we were paying $470 million, and China was paying with a population quite a bit larger than ours, thank you. The problem with us, we have no idea what size our population. They allowed so many people on under Biden. But let's assume it's 325 million. China's 1.4 billion. We were paying $470 million, and China was paying $39 million. And China was running the whole show. So I said, no, thank you. I withdrew. They offered me to sign up at $39 million. I still said no because it was sort of scammy. I didn't like it. And Biden came back in, and he signed up. And they knew we could have signed up for $39 million or less. He came back in, and he signed up for the same as what they were paying before, almost $500 million. Now, that's a lot of money, but it's nothing compared to the trillions of dollars that they waste. But that's the way it is. They know they can sign up for less. They don't even care. It's like they don't want to have the conversation. And you're talking about a $450 million difference. But they came up right in the first week. He said, no, we're going right back in. Okay, I can understand that. But you go in for $39 million. They could make a deal for $39 million. They signed up for $472 million. And I withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council, which is totally disgusting. In 3 months, my administration has brought home 46 American hostages and citizens detained abroad. We paid nothing. We don't pay. We don't pay. You know, if you pay, those kidnappings go way up. We don't pay. Every time Biden brought people back, he'd pay $6 billion. $6 billion. $6 billion. 3 times they brought back 3 hostages. Oh, how is it? Well, I think it's a fair deal. What do we pay? $6 billion. Wait a minute. For 3 people, $6 billion. $6 billion. It's not right. I mean, it's just not right. They have no idea. Honestly, grossly incompetent, stupid people. More than Biden brought home in 4 years. We brought more back in just a matter of weeks than Biden brought home in years. And he paid a fortune, and we paid nothing. We got Mexico to turn over 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. And we're charging Mexico and Canada and China
big tariffs because of the fact that they've allowed fentanyl to come in and poison our country. They're paying a lot of money for that. And because of that, you'll watch, it's going to stop. It's already slowing down. Within 6 weeks, we also apprehended the terrorists responsible for the attack that killed 13 American service members, known as Abbey-gate. I got to know them. I got to know those families very well. They're devastated during the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan and brought him home. I mean, we brought this guy home to America. We got the guy that did it. We got him. They were looking for years, but we got him. It took us to get him. We got him in the first month. Brought him home to face justice. And it was that gross incompetence that probably led Putin to go in and attack Ukraine, because they were never going to. That was never going to happen. If I were president, the Ukraine-Russia war would have never, ever happened, not even a little chance. We have ended the weaponization of law enforcement and fired Joe Biden's handpicked, these are pro-crime U.S. attorneys, except if it's a political person like me. You know, I was under investigation more than the late, great Alphonse Capone. Al Capone was the greatest gangster of them all. If he had dinner with you and if he didn't like you, you were dead. You were a dead person. You'd be under a foundation somewhere in a nice big building or sports center going up. And I spent far more time under investigation than Alphonse Capone. How about that? You like that? I didn't like that. I didn't like it. We removed senior FBI officials who were corrupt and misdirected the resources they sent to SWAT teams after grandmothers and J6 hostages, what they did to those J6 hostages. And they did nothing to the people that took over Portland and took over Seattle. They literally took over a big portion of Seattle, or in Minnesota, Minneapolis. You remember that disaster where they said, no, this is a peaceful rally. The CNN lunatic anchor, the guy has about the personality of an ant. This is not a man meant for television. He said, no, the rally is quite peaceful. Then he got hit with a brick or something. And over his shoulder, the entire skyline of Minneapolis was burning. You remember that one? The entire skyline was burning. And I have to be careful because that gentleman right there, one of the greatest purchasers of advertising in the history of the world, Mike Lindell, there has never been a better purchaser. He comes from Minnesota. No, congratulations. He's the greatest purchaser of ads in history. If he would have bought my ads, I could have had 10 times more ads on. There's never been, is there any station that doesn't have a pillow ad in? But he's great, and he's doing great, and he's got a beautiful new wife and all that stuff, and I'm proud of you. Look at him holding hands. They're still holding hands. I'm very proud of it. That's nice. Usually by this time, and a lot of people I know, Mike, by this time it's over. It's over. Look at you holding hands. I love that. I saw that. I pardoned hundreds of political prisoners who had been grossly mistreated. We created a brand new DOJ task force on anti-Christian bias. It's a big problem. I stripped the security clearances of the disgraced intelligence agents who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop from hell. Remember the laptop from hell? Remember the laptop from hell? When you had the 51 agents, they said, oh, Russia did it. Russia did it. Russia did everything. Russia did it. And it was all like horrible, disgusting stuff. You hadn't seen the worst of it, but it truly is the laptop. By the way, a very brilliant reporter for the New York Post wrote a book called The Laptop from Hell. You ought to read that book. It is really, it tells you the facts, okay? It tells you the facts. Miss Devine, the great Miss Devine, she wrote an amazing book, actually, The Laptop from Hell. We also terminated the clearances of the Biden crime family and Joe Biden himself because he's corrupt. And I banned all government censorship and restored free speech in America. We have free speech. We didn't have free speech. I ended all of the lawless so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion bullshit all across the entire federal government and the private sector. And I made it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. He's on fire! And a really easy one. This was the easiest one I had. I banned men from competing in women's sports. You know, they always say that's an 80-20 issue. No, it's about a 97-3 issue. I also proudly banned the use of puberty blockers and other chemical and surgical, right? All these mutilations of our minor youth, I banned it all. I signed executive orders to abolish critical race theory and transgender insanity from our schools and from our military. We fired the woke boards of visitors at our military academies. We have great people running our military academies now. And I've directed the reinstatement of patriots expelled from our military by the Biden vaccine mandate with full back pay. After years of missed targets, our military suddenly has the best recruiting numbers in 30 years. Every branch is setting records. Don't think of that. 6 months ago, you and I were reading that nobody wanted to join the military, right? Now, we've just set a record of recruitment that's stuck. We have a waiting list of people that want to go into our military, and we have a waiting list, including for police and firefighters, because our country has spirit again. We have spirit. Our country has great spirit again. Last month, I signed a historic executive order to begin the process of eliminating the Federal Department of Education and send education back to Michigan. We're going to send it back to our states, right? We're going to send it back to our states to run. I mean, how the hell bad can we do? We're like in last place. If they do badly, you're going to do better. They're going to do great, though. I think they're going to do great. I'm very proud of it. Linda McMahon, by the way, is doing a phenomenal job. And I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. I ordered the release of all remaining files related to the assassinations of Presidents John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr., and they're all out there. And I made myself very unpopular in Mexico by renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And we are restoring the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley in Alaska. He's a very good president. And you Italians are going to love me because just yesterday I brought back Columbus Day in America, especially for Italian Americans who were so badly treated by its removal. I also signed an order to require proof of citizenship to vote in American elections. That was easy. And the Democrats fought me on that. Think of it. Why would they want no voter ID? Because they want to cheat. Why would they want to have no proof of citizenship? We don't want it. We trust everybody. No, they want to cheat. That's all they want to do. Think of that. No voter ID. In Michigan, you must never allow ranked choice voting to be here. Never. We've done this all in 14 weeks. That's one. Remember that. 100 days. We've done all of the things that I named and a lot more, and we're counting, and it's going to be better. Wait till you see the results of some of the things that we're doing. In the coming weeks and months, we will pass the largest tax cuts in American history, and that will include no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. It's called the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it will be the biggest bill ever passed in our country's history. It will include the biggest tax cuts, regulation cuts, military supremacy, and just about everything else. We will cut more than $1 trillion in wasteful and unnecessary spending. And in the next fiscal year, it'll all be done. We're going to have something that you won't even believe. We will end inflation, slash prices. We've already ended inflation, raise wages, and give you the greatest economy in the history of the world. That's already happening. With our tax bill, the average family's take-home pay will be at least $5,000 more than it was just a couple of months ago. We will always protect Medicare and Social Security for our great seniors with no cuts, and we will defend Medicaid for those great people that are in need. House Republicans are working to invest more money in Medicaid than we spend today. The only thing we're going to cut is the corruption and the crooks that take advantage of some of the illegal schemes. So we want to preserve Medicaid for the most vulnerable, for our kids, pregnant women, the poor, and disabled Americans. We will fully and permanently secure our border. We will make the largest ever investment in U.S. military and build the Golden Dome missile defense shield. That's going to all protect us so we live a long and beautiful life. It's going to be made in Michigan, and it's going to be made right here in the USA. And 1 hour ago, I just made a speech at Selfridge Air Force Air National Guard Base, announcing that we are saving it, keeping it open, including thousands of jobs with the brand new state-of-the-art F-15s, which are coming to Selfridge. And we will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. I will defend religious liberty, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. We will celebrate the 250th anniversary of America's founding in 2026, and we will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And one day soon, American astronauts will plant the flag on the planet Mars. That's going to happen very soon. Every single day of my administration will continue to live by the motto, promises made, and you've seen it before, promises kept. From Marquette to Midland, from Mackinac to Saginaw, and from Lansing to right here in Macomb County, we stand on the shoulders of red-blooded Michigan patriots. What great people. I love you, Michigan. Who laid the railroads, worked the factories, tilled the field, forged the steel, fought the battles, and won the victories that built the Motor City and made this state into the pride of the America Midwest. And you know what? We're going to make it better than it ever was. It's already happening. You see what's happening. Michigan is the state that gave us the assembly line, Motown, Ford, General Motors, Chrysler, and put the world behind the wheel of an automobile. And under our leadership, we are making it greater every single day, and the automobile business in Michigan will soon, and it's going to happen really soon, it's already happening. They're signing left and right because of my taxation and tariff policies, which are policies of common sense and genius, be bigger and stronger and better than ever before. It's going to get better than ever before, and it won't even be close. Companies will be pouring back into Michigan. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And on November 5th, 2024, it was hardworking patriots like you who saved our country. So thanks to your help, your love, and your support, after 100 days back in the White House, America is a free, proud, and sovereign nation once more. And our magnificent destiny is closer than ever before. It's closer than ever before. You have no idea how close it is. Our golden age has only just begun. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will never, ever surrender. We will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. Together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. I love you, Michigan. I love you. Have a good time. Thank you. God bless you all.
Oh, there's President Trump out in Warren, Michigan, killing it. He did a fantastic job. Well, we're going to hang out with President Trump as long as he's on the screen. We want to make sure he gets off stage safe and all of that. We do still got quite a bit of news left. I think we got 7. We got 7 more pieces of news left to cover, and we're going to go ahead and get into the fun stuff here. What'd you hooligans think about President Trump? Heard a little bit of the same old, but a lot of it was new. So you can't complain. It's the same thing every time. He switched it up on us. Jay Spray, make America work again? Yeah. We're a little dysfunctional right now. Kevin, I think I missed the dancing. I know, President Trump, he's getting it. Look at everybody so excited to see President Trump. I like their new Golden Age banners that they handed out to everyone. Oh, Kevin, you think he missed the dancing? Yeah, I'm sure. I think he likes the rallies. It's kind of like having a rally every day, though. We see President Trump outside of the White House just about every day. That's where I believe where they talk about President Trump's administration being the most transparent. I'm not real excited about politicians not being arrested and nobody from Epstein's client list being arrested, but at least we do get to hear directly from the president almost every single day. And if not him, then we hear from Caroline Leavitt. Cody, that was a good one. I think so too. Elder Zoomer, the man only ever spits facts. I agree. I don't know what your name is. Queel? Happy freedom, Queel. What's up, Torp God? Happy freedom to you. Yeah, Michigan loves President Trump. What's up, John? Happy freedom to you. All right, like I said, we're going to get into the news here. I mean, we've already been covering news, but still got a little bit more left on the menu. Before we get any further, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you go and post all of your memes over on Discord as well as jeffmaclive.com, one or the other. Just go ahead and hop into either platform. You will see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. This next little bit of the news is titled, Texas Bill Seeks to End College Aid for Students Without Legal Status. I don't know why we're even providing aid to illegals to go to college. We got Americans who can't afford to go to college, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Either way, Texas is considering doing something about that. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Trump's immigration crackdown now sees him taking on so-called sanctuary cities. The president signing an executive order directing federal agencies to keep a list of cities not complying with his immigration agenda. The White House says jurisdictions who don't comply may lose federal funding. This comes a week after a judge blocked the administration from cutting funds for cities for that very reason, calling the move unconstitutional. As the Trump administration presses forward with its mass deportation plans and sweeping changes to public education, Texas is moving ahead with a bill that could keep people without legal status in the U.S. from getting a college education. News Nation's Xavier Walton is in Dallas with all the details. Xavier, good morning. How many people could be impacted?
Hannah, good morning to you. Good morning to everyone at home. Well, it could potentially, this proposal could potentially impact tens of thousands of students, and then at an adverse effect also cost or impact millions of dollars as well. We are talking about State Senate Bill 1798. Here's the language here on the screen, and what it would do is it would bar undocumented students from any state funds from universities, including a scholarship, grant, or other financial aid. The bill also prevents those students from paying discounted in-state tuition rates. Focused on ending more than 20 years of these benefits through the Texas DREAM Act, the bill's sponsor, Republican Texas State Senator Mays Middleton, says, public funds for higher education should be reserved for U.S. citizens.
In the 2024 through 2025 school year alone, more than 20,000 undocumented students received in-state tuition benefits that resulted in an estimated $150 million in subsidies. These are funds that could have been used to support lawful residents, perhaps even used to lower tuition or fees for citizens.
On top of that, those who support this proposal, You know, they say for years, for decades now, the in-state tuition has brought in thousands of undocumented students to the state, as an effect, costing the state and taxpayers lots of money, Hannah.
All right, we know this is a polarizing issue, Xavier. What are those opposed to the bill saying about this move?
Well, they essentially are saying that this is impacting the future of tens of thousands of undocumented students and generations to come. And in recent data, we actually have some numbers for you. Roughly 57,000 undocumented students are currently enrolled in Texas universities and colleges. And with California, Florida, New York, and New Jersey joining Texas in the top 5 states with undocumented students, at a recent hearing in the Lone Star State, lawmakers, you know what they heard from some of those who say the Texas DREAM Act actually changed their lives?
My journey started with an opportunity, and now I get to give opportunities to others. The Texas DREAM Act is more than a policy. It's a lifeline. It tells young people like me, you matter, your dreams matter, your story matters, and your contributions matter.
And she was a direct beneficiary of the Texas DREAM Act, which has been in place since 2001, Texas being the first state to do so. Hannah, since then, more than 20 states have followed similar suit with similar legislation.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, now I want to take another gander at this chart here. 87,000 illegals are in college in California. 57,000 illegals are in college in Texas. 43,000 illegals are in college in Florida, and 27,000 illegals are in college in New York, and 21,000 illegals are in college in New Jersey. Now, we hear about New Jersey and New York all the time, right? We're always hearing about these pro-Hamas protests and activists and all of that. Now, I'm really surprised that we don't hear about California, considering they have 4 times the amount of illegals going to school there. This is where Tom Homan needs to go. He needs to go to these colleges, and we know that he has for the protest, but they need to go there and just get a list of everybody that's undocumented who is being supported by federal doll hairs, these aid programs. It's not federal, it's state, providing aid and all of that to illegals. Because like I said before we played the video, we got Americans that can't go to college because they can't afford it. Why do we need to pay for 200,000 illegals to go to college? They're not even here legitimately. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. So hopefully Texas will actually do something about it. All states should do something about it. I wonder how many illegals are here in Michigan getting aid to go to college. It just doesn't make any sense. Let me see. Next up, we got outright rejected. Americans don't agree with Democrats' strategy. Political consultant says it's about a minute and a half of Democrats just being completely unlikable, and that's kind of the only reason we're playing the video. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat. See what you hooligans think about Texas potentially cutting off that aid to illegal students. Russell, well, a lot of students come here on visas, but their education is paid for by their countries or families. Well, being here on visa is not the same thing as being here illegally, you know? So when they're coming here on visas, and like there was that argument, right? Everybody was saying that the Republicans had infighting when right after inauguration, because I can't remember if it was Ram That Salami, but I know Elon and I think President Trump were kind of going back and forth about like N1 visas or something like that, some special kind of visa for foreigners to come here and go to college and stuff. But this is just undocumented illegals. So why would we give aid to people who aren't here legally? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. Josh 1776, that's what I'm saying. One gets here legally, gets into a position like college or city worker, then let 1,000 more lie on a visa and approve it. Yeah, and that maybe that is what's happening. Tori Wayne, I bet they don't get threatened to be sued if they don't pay back their college tuition. Yeah, they're just getting free money. For what? Because they came here illegally? It doesn't make any sense. You break into the country, you have no documents, so technically you shouldn't be able to get a driver's license or anything. But like in the video we covered a week or two ago, some states only require you to pass a vision test in order to get a driver's license. You don't even have to provide documentation. So then what? You get your goofy driver's license and then just sign up for college? How do you sign up for college if you're undocumented? Money? Here's money. Here's money. Let me go to school here with everybody else. And colleges are dog shit. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then you hear about security at schools and stuff, you know, because they're always worried about shooter situations and things like that. But meanwhile, you got illegals going in and out of the school, taking classes. You're sitting right next to your comrades. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Mac Daddy, how do we have that many undocumented people in school? That's what I mean. How do you even... It's crazy because you try and enroll your kids into school. They want to know if your kid's been vaccinated and everything else. And if they're not, then you got to get doctor's slips and shit to try and get your kid into school. Meanwhile, this asshole's from some unknown country, broke into our country illegally, and, well, we'll find you a seat in class, okay? This is your professor. Like, I don't know. Make that make sense. Here, Juicer Grok says 4,000 to 5,000 illegals are in higher education in Michigan. Jesus loves us. That's the number's lower than I thought it would be, but that's still 5,000 people too many. J. Spray, Abbott needs to roll out and let a real Republican in. They need to do something. Guess restrict all visas, make them use MasterCard or Amex. Yeah, that's right. They got to use PayPal to go to college. Shroomish, government bails out illegals, lazy people, banks, but never the hardworking people. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Pumpkin, it was Biden. I mean, maybe but they need to do something about it. I'm glad that Texas is trying to do away with it. We'll see if they actually do, but the federal government should do something about it. And I hate saying that because the federal government, we need less federal government, but this needs to be like a nationwide thing. There's no reason we should be giving anything to illegals. Like I say all the time, if somebody broke into your house and was sitting on your couch eating a sandwich, you wouldn't offer them a glass of milk, right? You just wouldn't. This isn't how regular people behave. But when they break into the country, it's like, here's your new iPhone, here's $15,000 in EBT, and then, you know, we're going to pay for your college too. What? They're already taking Medicaid. I don't know, getting more benefits than veterans. Does it make sense? Pumpkin will go home and matter. Yeah, and that's the other thing is at the end of the video, they're letting that woman speak, and she's like, oh, if you guys wouldn't have given me that free money, it wouldn't have changed my life. Good for you. That's how everybody feels when they get good money or free money. They're like, yay, free money. Everybody loves free money. Like, they act like they were really saying something. For the Texan, Abbott is trying his best, but he's so locked down by asshole judges. Yeah, and it's like when Abbott was trying to put the buoys in the water and all that stuff. They were putting up razor wire to keep illegals out. And then Biden's federal government was suing him. And they were constantly in these lawsuits going back and forth. They made him pull the buoys out. Then they let him put the buoys back. The KJP was telling normies, telling, you know, all of America that Greg Abbott's National Guard was pushing children back into the Rio Grande or whatever and hold them under the water till they die and all this shit, which obviously wasn't happening, but that's what they were saying. And they were like, people are trying to swim around the buoys and they're dying and this, that, and the other. Stupid. This stuff is stupid. What's up, Michael? Happy Freedom. What's up, Jeff Reynolds? Omar got free money. Now she tries to tell Congress what to do. Yeah, see? That's why we can't have these problems. Wayward, I had to hold my ankles and cough to get my license. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm saying. They're only hardest on people who, you know, have jobs and earn shit and follow the law. All the terrible people. Jay Spray, they didn't just break into our house. They tapped into our bank account, and we're supposed to let them take it while we can't afford our own houses. Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll go ahead and get into this next one. Like I said, outright rejected. Americans don't agree with Democrats' strategy, political consultant says. Now, we're going to hear about a minute and a half of Democrats being just purely unlikable. and still not winning anybody over. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
This is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
Total bull. Absolute bull.
I don't swear in public very well, but we have to Trump.
Well, I think the political scientists have a term for the first 100 days we've seen, and they call it a show.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. There are a few things Democrats love more than cussing. Maybe singing?
Yada da yada da yada da yada. And if we build this road from love, yada da yada da yada da yada, then God will build this world from love.
Well, and if they can't do either of those things, they're going to call on people to rise up. Watch.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption. But I am now.
And now Democratic Congressman Sri Thanandare from Michigan introducing articles of impeachment against the president.
But Americans just aren't buying it. More than half of the country views the party as unfavorable.
For more, let's bring in Lance.
Okay, so like I said, Democrats just being purely unlikable, and they're not winning anybody over. Just acting like heathens and stuff. And then they wonder why people don't want to be a part of that. It's only weirdos and people that are terribly mentally ill. Pedophiles, sex offenders, people like that want to be Democrats. Nobody else wants to, though. Next up, we got investigation underway after deadly car crash in Illinois after-school program. This is a weird story. This 44-year-old woman drove her car into a building and then out the other side, killed 3 children and an 18-year-old, and then they just let her go. They know exactly who it is. She's not in custody. They're not talking about charges or anything. They're just really sad for the people that died, and that's it. I don't understand how that works. I watched 4 videos trying to figure out why is she not in jail. And no, I don't even think they took her license. They were like, it should be okay. I don't know, but it's coming up next. Either way, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about these dirty Democrats. Russell, Democrats are toxic. Yes, they are. They're disgusting. Guess that's an insurrection, 100%. Yeah, sitting there on the steps there doing a bunch of nothing. We already know that they're lazy. They didn't have to display it before the whole world. Cody, pills. You know they're on pills. Elder Zoomer, at this point, impeaching President Trump is like the rite of passage for Dems, totally meaningless aside from proving to their friends that they'll do it. Yeah, I can't believe that they're already talking about a third impeachment. It's only been a couple months. Ah, man, mean orange man out here making America great again. Better impeach him. Stupid. Pumpkin, children shouldn't cuss. I agree. Truman, she saw a Hooligan sticker on a car. I've seen a couple Hooligan license plates. I was telling you guys, I think it was yesterday, that Hooligan brand is actually a big brand. It's kind of like when you buy a new car and then all of a sudden you notice everybody else is driving the car. That's how the Hooligan brand is going to be. You'll see it for a little while. For the Texan, they told the world that our border patrol was whipping illegals while on horseback, like in the slave days. Yeah, for the Texan, they were lying their face off in the Biden administration. No apologies, no nothing. They just act like that stuff never happened. Pumpkin, you see, they think they're working. Yeah, sitting on their ass doing a bunch of nothing. Josh 1776. No, I don't know anything about that guy. He's like I don't know, a Middle Eastern dude that's talking about impeaching President Trump. I don't know who the hell that is, and I keep trying to watch the video, but it is hard to listen to that guy talk. I'd rather listen to RFK Jr. or Bobby Jr. sing me bedtime lullabies than listen to that random dude. I don't know if he's Indian or what he is, but he's got a heavy accent and he's crying about Trump and about his butt hurting really bad. And I cannot make it through the video. I can't. It's only like a couple minutes long, but I just can't. It's just, I don't know. It's not good. I have to like read the captions on it. Mac Daddy, in Trump's first term, they talked about him being impeached for 4 years. Yeah, they kept saying, well, he was impeached twice. If he was impeached once, he wouldn't have even been able to be impeached twice. But they don't care. It's an insurrection. The J6ers are insurrectionists, and President Trump's a mean orange man has been impeached twice. They're a bunch of goofballs. Josh 1776, I didn't realize he was from Michigan. Well, more or less. Now you guys are going to make me have to go watch that stupid video. I've tried for 2 days, but it's just, I don't know. Mac Daddy Ken Block has his own day now. April 3rd is his 43. I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew Ken Block was a big deal, but I didn't realize he had his own day. Lone Wolf, I think Trump should EO. If you file impeachment on false pretenses, you should go to jail for 5 years. Just like if you call the police and fake it. Yeah, they should, but who's going to enforce the law? That's the thing is, they don't enforce the laws that they got now. Plastic Quack Cloud's chilling upside down. Yeah, he's having himself a day. Jeff Reynolds? No, not Al Green. Well, let's look him up. If I'm going to suffer through it, you guys are too. It's going to happen that way or another anyways. If it's worth listening to, I'm putting it on the live. We might as well just deal with it together. Yay. 3 minutes of this, or until I've had enough. Let's just do this. I don't know what he's saying, but we're going to endure this together. This is the guy that wants to impeach Trump. This is 3 minutes of whatever the hell he's got to say. So let's endure it, and we'll tap out when it's time, I guess. I don't know if I can handle 3 minutes. You guys owe me a like, though. You got to go hit the like button if you have one, because you guys are forcing me to play this stupid shit.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. Article 1, obstruction of justice and abuse of executive power. From denying due process to unlawful deportations, Trump defied court orders. Article 2, taking away Congress's power of the purse. Trump dismantled agencies and froze funds without permission from Congress. Article 3, abuse of trade powers and international aggression. He imposed damaging tariffs and threatened military invasions of our allies. Article 4, violation of First Amendment rights. He has retaliated against journalists, attorneys, and critics for exercising their right to free speech. Article 5, creation of an unlawful office establishing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and giving Elon Musk unconstitutional power over our government and personal data. Article 6, bribery and corruption. He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign governments and coerced legal settlements for personal and political gain. Article 7, tyrannical overreach. Finally, and most importantly, he is attempting to consolidate unchecked power and erode the constitutional limits of the presidency. In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable misconduct. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny. If we let this stand, we are saying the president is above the law, that the United States Constitution is optional. I won't be silent, and I'm calling on all my colleagues, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, to stand up with me. Enough is enough. Donald J. Trump must be impeached.
Okay. You guys want it. There we are. We did the thing. Yep. So anyways, that's who's calling for the impeachment of President Trump. It's not satire, but it looks like satire. Feels and smells like satire. But it's not. He really means it. So anyways, like I was saying, where are we at in this? We got this awful story about this 44-year-old woman who can run over 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, an 18-year-old, kill them all, and then drive away and not be arrested. It's coming up next, but we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about that guy right there talking about President Trump needing to be impeached. Jay Spray, I smell Dearborn. Half these comments I'm not going to be able to read out loud. I can tell you that right now. I was reading through the chat while he was doing his thing there. Guess some don't ever put him on again. The problem is I think we're going to have a follow-up. Guess some. I mean, he's out here talking about impeachment. I think there's a video of him dancing too, kind of like Zelensky, you know, like twerking in a little skin-tight outfit. I'm pretty sure there's a video of that going around too. I haven't wanted to watch that, but you guys wanted it, so, you know, I just gave it to you. But yeah, I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm just not going to say anything. What's up, Enter User? Happy freedom to you. Lone Wolf, oh my god, these comments. You should see what they're saying on the website. We got GIFs and memes and shit over there. Plastic Whack. Yeah, see, like I'm saying, half the stuff I can't read out loud. Bill Clay, was that the funny video of the day? No, it wasn't. We were just seeing what you guys' tolerance is like. What's up, Rolling Pony? Happy freedom to you. Rolling Pony, this dude would have had trouble keeping a job at Quickie Mart, let alone impeaching Trump. Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about. Well, because I don't have anything nice to say, let me see if I can find a quick video that has the same vibes. Yeah, let's do this. This got the same vibes.
My friend? My friend, I believe we're having some technical issues with our phone line. Please hang on. I'm going to call customer service. Hello, customer service. This is Steve.
Hello, this is Steve with customer service.
No, my friend. I am Steve with customer service.
Listen, my friend. This is going to be very hard to comprehend, but none of what you are seeing is real.
Oh, no.
My friend. A customer who is in virtual reality called customer service, and it has created a customer feedback loop. Okay? Here in India, we call it a customer feedback window loop.
Oh, you.
No.
Same vibes there. We need to impeach Trump. No, you don't. You don't know shit about shit. You don't know shit about fuck. Get out of here. Yeah, anyways, reading through. Get something better. Yeah, it was a little better. It ain't my fault, okay? Don't be mad at me. It ain't my fault. Lone Wolf, the Venn loop. I know. Not quite a Venn diagram, but it's close. Deport Dearborn. Yeah. Spirit Matter, don't do this to us again. I'm just giving you guys what you want. All right, we're going to move forward. Got to just cleanse the palate there. I just can't get that guy's voice out of my head. We need to impeach Trump. No, we don't need to impeach Trump. You need to go sit down somewhere. He's grounded. Anyways, moving forward here. Like I said, this is a really weird story. It's not weird. It's terrible. This guy has nothing to do with it. I don't know what to say about that. This is just there. That ain't my fault. Anyways, this is titled Investigation Underway After Deadly Car Crash at Illinois After School Program. 4 people were killed, 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old. The vehicle drove through both sides of the building. 3 people were hit and killed outside. 1 person was killed inside the building. 44-year-old Marianne Ankers, I guess that's how you say her name. She's the one that did it. She is not in custody, and they don't think it was a targeted attack, and that's all, folks. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Not so much an accent, but terrible person not being arrested, kind of like Democrats. Anyways, hit that like button if you got one, and let's get into it.
Let's take you to Illinois now, where police are investigating the deadly crash that killed 4 children and injured several others at a building housing an after-school program. The victims are between 4 and 18 years old. This happened in the town of Chatham, just south of the Illinois capital. Now, that car crashed into the east side of the building, plowing through it, and then exited through the wall of the opposite side of the building. That car hit multiple people outside and inside the building. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Ian Lee from Chatham, Illinois. Ian, what a horrific story. What more are you learning today?
Well, Liz, let me just kind of show you the scene behind me right now. We have people who are laying flowers. There's a makeshift memorial set up. You could probably see the plywood. That is where the car entered the building and it crashed through the other side. I actually spoke just a few minutes ago with a neighbor who described the scene afterwards, saying that he heard a loud bang and then looked outside, saw a black Jeep Wrangler on the other side of the building. He said he went over to help after calling 911, but when he saw a young child on the ground, he just froze. We know that 4 people were killed, 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old. 6 other people were injured. 1 is still in critical condition. This has really affected this community. This is what one resident had to say.
Something like this happens, it just makes people's knees buckle. I just hope we can come out of this as a stronger community, because we're very tight-knit.
This is a tight-knit community of 15,000 people, and they are reeling. But this investigation is underway. Police now trying to figure out what caused the driver of this car to crash through this after-school program.
Yeah, I mean, a town of 15,000 people, everybody knows everybody, or there's 6 degrees of separation between you and possibly a family member of one of these victims. You mentioned the driver. Do we know anything about this individual?
Yeah, so the police, just a while ago, the state police released the name and age of the driver. She is 44-year-old Marianne Akers. She is not currently in custody, and that is probably along the lines of police saying they don't believe this was a targeted attack, looking more at this was possibly an accident. They are also saying that the toxicology report hasn't come back, so that's something we're going to be looking into as well. There's a lot of questions right now, but the police are taking their time releasing this information. It seems like they want to get it right rather than fast, but yeah, we'll bring those to you.
Just heartbreaking for that community there. Ian Lee, thank you so much.
So they didn't play the audio for the clip that they showed there. Let me see if I can find it really quick, because it definitely makes a difference. Let's see if they, let me see right here. This is a short clip. This is people when they realized what happened. You can see the hole is still in the wall. We'll hop in the chat right after this.
4 people, including children, died after a suspect drove a Jeep through the Why Not Outdoor Summer and After School Camp on Breckenridge Road.
They're not even playing the audio because the woman is like sobbing, sort of like they're going into shock. You can hear them. They're like, what happened? Oh, someone drove through a building. Oh, yeah, the tarp is children's bodies on the ground. And then they start like realizing what is happening, and you can hear it in their voice as they go into shock, because they're looking at dead children bodies out there in the yard. And you can't see it in the video, but you can hear it in their voice, the way that they're impacted by the situation. But like I said, it must be so graphic they didn't want to play the audio. The original video I came across had the audio in it, but they didn't have any details on the driver. And so like I said, I watched 4 videos before I landed on the one we put on the schedule there. But why is the driver not in custody? They're like, well, it might be an accident. Oh, so you can accidentally kill 4 people and not go to fucking jail? Oh, okay. Like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. That's what like manslaughter charges are and stuff. If you didn't intend on killing anyone, but you were being reckless and people died, that's usually how you get manslaughter charges. Unless you're 44-year-old Marianne Ankers, and then you get to just go home and drink pina coladas and get your feet fucking rubbed and, you know, just hang out for the day, I guess, and watch Netflix. And they're like, oh, well, she's not in custody, so that makes us think it was an accident. Is that what happens in Illinois? Because that's not what happens in Michigan. Saying it was an accident doesn't fucking matter. You're going to jail. Anyways, next up, we got 2 videos from the White House from earlier today during the press briefing that took place at 8:30 in the morning, which is a little bit too early for a press briefing because everybody on the left coast who really needs to watch the press briefing, it's only for 4:30 over there. So I think they need to hold off on these pressers, do them a little later in the day. But either way, we got 2 of them coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this crazy story of this woman driving through this building, killing 2 7-year-olds, an 8-year-old, and an 18-year-old, killed 3 of them outside and killed the one on the inside of the building, drove through both sides of the building, and then went home. Probably hit up the drive-thru at McDonald's on the way, but, you know, at least she's not in custody. I don't know. Where's the outrage? Where's the people in the streets? Like, this is something to be pissed about. Russell, why did it have to be a Jeep? Yeah, and it was a Jeep. And I was kind of surprised a Jeep survived that, but, you know, whatever. Jay Spray, I accidentally crossed the yellow line while taking a left. I had to go to court for it. Yeah, I should have been a woman. Should have been a woman. They'll let you just go home, I guess. Fuck. Russell, could have been a mechanical failure. Yeah, it could have been, but I still think that she should have been held accountable. She's operating the vehicle. Josh 1776, accident? No, but I think if someone cut her brakes, had manufacturer error evidence at the scene, I could get why, but I don't get it. Let's see, I don't get why they released her name if they don't plan on charging her. Well, maybe they do plan on charging her, but if they are going to charge her, why didn't they arrest her and keep her in custody? If it was an accident and potentially a mechanical failure, why didn't they say that on the news? Why didn't they say police investigated, but they determined that it was not the woman's fault that this happened, so she's not in custody? That would make sense, but being like, she drove through one side and then came out the other, killed 3 people on the outside and 1 person inside, and then we let her go. Like, that doesn't sound right. Guess you can accidentally stab people in Texas and walk? Yeah, it's not like that here in Michigan. They're hungry to put you in jail here, though. It's the only thing that keeps Michigan, you know, that's our economy, is our courthouse and our jail system. Otherwise, Michigan would be so poor we couldn't survive here. Here, Juicer, that's an absolute shithole. Tent cities all over. So much property crime. That 3rd-story apartment balconies have razor wire only a block from the Capitol building. Holy, here, Juicer. Yeah, they need to clean that area up. What's up, Metamouth? Happy freedom to you. Elder Zoomer, you're still responsible for the accident, even if it was a mechanical failure on your car caused it, at least in India. Yeah, Elder Zoomer, well, then that's what I'm saying, too. Mr. Binu, mechanical failure? No, you turn it off. Yeah, put the car in neutral and turn it off. Giggling Spy, yes, she should still be held accountable, regardless of the reason. I think so. It is crazy. That's a crazy story. Imagine you're dropping your kids off, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, at an after-school program. You go to get dinner really quick or whatever you got going on, right? You come back Kid's been ran over. Person who did it, they got to go home. Your kid will never go home again. Like, I don't know. That doesn't, I don't know. Rubs me the wrong way. Ghostly, if you have to crash, don't crash into kids. Don't care if the brakes were cut. Yeah. I mean, like, maybe she had a seizure, right? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe she had a seizure. But I still feel like if you're susceptible to having seizures, you shouldn't be driving. You know, they ask you that kind of stuff. Like, even when I got my CPL renewed, they were like, have you become unconscious in the last 6 months? Right? And I'm just, you know, carrying around a piece of metal. Like, when you drive, it's like that too. If you're under medication that can cause you to black out and stuff, you're not supposed to operate a vehicle or heavy machinery. So I don't know. They have to have a very specific reason to have let her go, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense to me. Puff of stuff, maybe a heart attack and in the hospital. It's very strange. Even in that situation, like say she had a stroke or something and is currently in the hospital, she would probably be handcuffed to the bed. They would still consider that like in custody, but it just seems really weird. What's up, FEMA region? Happy Freedom? Still at large? No, they know who she is. Enter user, accident is hitting one wall. Yeah, not going through the whole building. Stoner, see Jeff, if you have a Jeep, you can drive through brick buildings. Subarus can't do that. Well, you know, you're right, Stoner. The Subarus aren't made to drive through buildings and run over children. You're right. What's up, Tiger Jaw? Happy Freedom. Enter user, who is she related to? That's a good question. Stoner, now it's a drive-through location. It's terrible. It's terrible. Freely texting, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I can't make a good excuse. Like I'm saying, you come back to the building to pick up your kid's dead in the lawn. I don't think you're going to be worried about why she ain't in custody. You're going to be worried about where she's located. So I don't know. I don't get it. Guess have you blacked out recently? You were at the party. Yeah, exactly. Meta, she's probably booked and released. If it's involuntary manslaughter, it can work that way sometimes. I mean, maybe she'd be out on bond. Maybe that's what they didn't want to say, but it seems like they could have worded it better if that was the case. Blue Ruby sounds like she passed out. Could be. I don't think it's an excuse, though. I think she should be held no bond. You killed 3 children and an 18-year-old. Too bad. I know if she was a man, that's what they would say. Too bad. Enjoy jail and or enjoy eating food that's got pubic hairs in it. That's what they would say. What's up, Harley Davidson? Happy Freedom. Why are you not streaming the president's interview? What do you mean? What interview? We just covered the president live, so I don't know what the interview is. Usually Right Side Broadcasting does all that stuff before. Yeah, Right Side Broadcasting is not even live. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe it's on a different channel. Vinny C, it's always innocent children. Yeah. Michael, don't drop the soap. Yeah, that's what they'd be saying. What's up, Magic Moon? Happy Freedom. Teasel Subaru limit? Deer. Yeah. Yeah. Guess, had she had a Trump sticker on the Jeep, a police shooting would have been reported. You're not wrong. What's up, Kenneth? Happy Freedom. Guess obviously it was self-defense. It must have been. Must have been self-defense. Wayward diabetic. I mean, it could have been, but I don't know. I can't make an excuse for these people. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward and try and forget that happened. Next up, like I said, we got 2 videos from the White House press briefing. First one is Amazon announces it's going to display a number showing how tariffs are affecting prices because they stand against President Trump. Second video is titled Questions on Tariffs Replacing Taxes. Now, we just heard a little bit about that while President Trump was live for the Trump rally here in Michigan. So either way, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you'd like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble Hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. So like I said, we're going to play these 2 White House press briefing videos back to back. This is from earlier today. They were up at the ass crack of dawn, and even earlier than that for the left coast. And so we missed it. You know, that happens sometimes, but either way. This first one here, like I said, is titled Amazon announces it's going to display a number showing how tariffs are affecting prices. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Sean, go ahead. Hi, Mr. Secretary. So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon. And Secretary, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I would also add that the bringing down the terrible Biden inflation has been a priority for the first 100 days of the Trump administration, and President Trump has done a great job of leading that since January 20th. Interest rates, mortgage rates are down, gasoline and energy prices are down. We're expecting the further decreases. And as Caroline said, the big tax on consumers that goes unnoticed is deregulation or regulation, and we are deregulating and bringing that down. So, from a household income point of view, we would expect real purchasing increases. We've seen them over the first 100 days, and we would expect that to accelerate. We are doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and deregulating. And the deregulation is a longer lead time, but I think by the third and fourth quarters, that's really going to kick in.
Okay, so Amazon making claims that they're going to put little numbers near their items on their online store. That way, if you don't like the prices, you can blame the mean orange man, because it's all his fault, because he's putting tariffs on countries that put tariffs on us, and they don't like it when we treat other people the way they treat us. That's too damn bad. Anyways, we're going to play the second one. Like I said, this is titled Questions on Tariffs Replacing Taxes.
On tariffs, the president said over the weekend that we are hoping that maybe tariff revenues could replace income tax. But we also keep hearing about the deals that the administration is pursuing. So my question is, what is the White House's ultimate objective here? Do you want to have long-term tariff revenue or deals that might reduce those tariffs?
I think it's a combination of both. So we're going to take in long-term tariff revenue. We put a process in place. We have 18 important trading relationships. We will be speaking to all of those partners, or at least 17 of them, over the next few weeks. Many of them have already come to Washington. What President Trump is referring to is the ability for tariff revenue to give income tax relief. And I think there's a very good chance that we will see this in the upcoming tax bill. The president campaigned on no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and the restoring interest deductibility for autos, for American-made autos. So tariff income could be used for tax relief on all those immediately.
Okay, so I think that was actually a decent question from the press pool, which is very surprising because normally they ask ridiculous questions. But tariffs are supposed to be temporary to a certain degree because we're only applying tariffs on people that are putting tariffs on us, trying to get to a point where they eliminate tariffs, and we'll eliminate tariffs against them. So how is it going to replace taxes if tariffs are only temporary? And I seen a video where people were saying that it's like not even close. The amount of money that we're going to make off tariffs is nothing compared to how much the government makes off tax income from the various ways that they tax us. But I think that the number should be lowered anyways. They obviously waste our money. They waste it anyway in every way that they can. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. I know that. Next up, we got Representative Ilhan Omar saying the quiet part out loud. We're just going to go ahead and play this. It's only a 9-second video, and we've already had quite a long live already. So we'll play this, and then we'll go ahead and hop in the chat. Let's get this pulled up. Like I said, very short video. This is the brotherfucker Ilhan Omar saying the quiet part out loud.
We are fighting back every single day. We are fighting to protect immigrant families from mass detention and deportation. We are fighting.
Okay, so they are fighting to prevent illegals from being deported. They are out loud saying that they are standing against federal law. Why are they not being held accountable for that? Feel like that sounds like treason or, anything like that. But either way, like I said, we're going to hop in the chat really quick. See what you guys think about Amazon saying that they're going to display numbers, basically putting the middle finger towards tariffs and claiming that's the reason why things are too expensive on Amazon, as well as questions on tariffs replacing taxes, as well as Representative Omar saying the quiet part out loud. Next up, we got Peter Ducey showing the line of Michiganders at the Trump rally that we just covered, showing how excited they are. Obviously, I meant to show that before the rally, but it's okay. It's coming up next. Either way, we're hopping in the chat. Lots of Jeep talk over on the website. AR-16, deport the brotherfucker, I'm saying. Get Omar out of here. Too old to care. Tell us how you really feel. Well, it's not my fault she married her brother. Stoner, your phone's charging slow. Turn the quality of the video down on Rumble, and it should help with that a little bit. Metal Mouth, damn, you think that dude's head is skinny enough? I think it's empty inside. It must be how it goes. It's hard to say. Ghostly, Walmart needs to bring back 24-hour stores. 2 to 4 a.m. is top-tier people watching. You are not wrong, Ghostly. I feel the same exact way. I used to not even go to Walmart until after it was midnight. There's usually not many people there, so you can move through the aisles as you need without some gigantic person standing in the way with 15 kids that all smell like shit. You know, you can actually move around freely, which is nice. But if there is people, they look like carnies. They're like limping around and just slurring their words, and it's always a good time. And I don't know why well, I guess they took it away because of the lockdowns. I don't know why they didn't bring it back though. Everyone's in an agreement. Let's deport Omar. Tori Wayne, always win after 1 a.m. Even had late night Walmart dates. Yep. I remember being like, hey, let's go to Walmart. Why? Because there's nothing to do. Let's just go do that. It'll be fun. I remember riding Heelys in Walmart back when you could buy Heelys from Walmart. Let me see, MU. Let me see, because I saw someone else talking about it too. This is going to be a long live today. Are you guys seeing this stuff on YouTube, or is it on the channel ABC? Because I'm not seeing a Trump interview. Dang, Jay Spray, that's a badass pick. You actually just gave me the opportunity to drop one myself. I took this Sunday. And it looks like we were looking at the same sunset. Pure Michigan. MU, I can't find that exclusive interview. Elder Zoomer, when I was a teenager, we'd go to Walmart or drive around. Yeah, we always went to Walmart because if you drive around, they'll just pull you over and harass you. Find reasons to send you to jail. Stoner, nothing like eating a bunch of mushrooms and looking at freaks at Walmart. If I had a bunch of mushrooms, I'd be the freak at Walmart. I couldn't do it. Totally care playing Marco Polo in Wally World. Yeah, I remember doing that too. Mr. B knew, what's a Walmart? Is that like walls and stuff? It's like a Canadian, I think it's called Canadian Tire. I hear that's a lot like Walmart. My feed, most thefts happen at night, at the night shift at Walmart. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that being a problem. Pumpkin, I used to shop at Walmart after 10 p.m. No people there. Yeah. I think the one in Ludington closes at 11 or something like that. But I miss them being 24 hours. You hear the siren going off? Look at Klaus Daniels. He's like, they're going to deport me. Where, Stoner? You need to let me know where immediately. Meta, no tax on Jeff Mack. I'm saying no tax. No tax for hooligans. Southern Eagleman, it's on ABC. Okay, like the channel? You guys say it's on ABC and I go to the internet, I go to ABC and then it doesn't show anything. I don't know what to do next. What's up, Plugster? Happy freedom to you. What's up, John Galt? Happy freedom to you. Be the freak. That's right. Own it. Wayward riding wheelchairs at Walmart was a blast. I've never seen wheelchairs there. Well, we'll go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one's a pretty quick video. It's titled, Peter Doocy is in Michigan ahead of President Trump's rally tonight, asking voters what they like most about the administration's first 100 days. Now, like I said, of course, I meant to show this before the rally, but, you know, President Trump, he was on time today. What can I say? Can't bitch about it, right? Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube. Let's get into this.
The president's not supposed to start talking for another 5 hours or so, but it's a lovely day here outside Detroit, and there are a ton of people. So I think we might just go ask some folks what it is that they liked the most about the first 100 days. You guys, we are live right now on Fox. Look at that. So, pardon me. First 100 days, anything that you liked more than the rest of the stuff?
Closing our border.
Closing the border, okay. And how far did you guys have to come today to be here?
We just show her
I came from Wisconsin, Prentice.
Came from Wisconsin, all right. So, 5 miles, okay. So, obviously, it's a crowd of Trump supporters, of course, but we can try to do a little poll. Who here thinks that the number one thing in the first 100 days is what Trump has done at the border? Yeah! Okay. Border. Now let's try it with tariffs.
We are getting money for Trump.
Okay, all right. And what's that? All right. And so, okay, all right. And so you can hear this is the crowd that President Trump has waiting for him when he leaves Washington, D.C. Something else that's really interesting, actually, before President Trump gets here, he's going to stop. Did you guys know about this? Before President Trump gets here, he's going to stop at a National Guard base, and he's going to meet with the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. Okay. She was, of course, at the Oval Office a week or two ago and tried to cover her face with a portfolio. Sandra?
Peter, you really have a talent for rallying the crowd there. It sounds like there's a lot of energy, enthusiasm ahead of the president's arrival there.
All right, so Michiganders, well, some of them are Michiganders, getting all fired up for President Trump. Like I said, I plan on playing that before the rally, but either way, you could tell that people were excited. We'll go ahead and get right into this next one because we covered the rally, so you guys know. This next one is a very interesting story that I just randomly came across, scrolling TikTok, ironically. And so, coming across a little clip, I decided to investigate it further and see if I could find more to the story. This is titled Rumors Swirl on Social Media Around Alleged Serial Killer in New England. Now, like I said, I found a little clip, so I went to look for it on YouTube, and I realized that nobody is covering the story. They don't want to cover it because potentially there's a serial killer on the loose. There's been 8 murders within driving distance of each other. They've arrested some guy that's connected to some murder, and they just assume that, that's one thing solved. But they don't have an explanation for the other 7 murders. And out of 8 videos that I watch related to this topic, all videos are trying to convince you that it's not a serial killer. That's it. They are just talking bad about the internet. They're talking bad about what people are saying, and they're just saying, nuh-uh. That's all they're saying. They can't prove that there's no serial killer. They can't prove that these 8 murders are not related to each other. They spend the entire time focusing on damning people talking about it on the internet. So they're downplaying the idea of a serial killer. They keep saying the phrase internet sleuths. There's been 8 murders within driving distance, and they insist that the murders are not related. They do have 1 murder suspect in custody, and they appeared in court by video, just like they could do with the illegals in CCOT for their due process. So like I said, let's go ahead and hop into this. Kind of exciting because I have a serial killer. Not exciting because there's already been 8 murders, and they have a suspect for 1 of them. They don't think he did all of them. And then they spend the rest of the time, like I said, calling this internet sleuths and insisting, no, this is not a serial killer. Very crazy stuff. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
We begin now with a follow-up on the rumors circulating on social media regarding an alleged serial killer here in New England. Thanks for joining us, everyone, for Western Mass News at 6 on this Monday. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Amanda Martin Ryan. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Locree joins us live in studio with the latest on this story. Reagan.
Yeah, that's right, Chris and Amanda. For weeks, internet sleuths have been trying to tie discoveries of human remains and bodies found up and down New England to one single killer. However, a recent arrest across the border in Connecticut may put a dent in their theory.
A recent homicide leading internet sleuths to believe a serial killer may be in our midst. However, one criminal justice professor we spoke to says it's more rare than you think.
Serial murder definitely does exist, but it is not
what we would say is like most frequent. The FBI estimates between 25 and 50 potential serial murderers at any given time, and also estimates that it's basically 1% of homicides may be due to serial killings.
If you remember, last week, a woman we now know to be 45-year-old Megan Meredith was found unresponsive on a bike path along Springfield's Riverfront Park. Her death has since been ruled a homicide. And despite police and authorities denying any connection, the internet is alleging her death may be connected to several other recent discoveries in our region, including human remains found in a Groton, Connecticut cemetery. However, the suspect in that case, Donald Koffel, has since been arrested and charged with the murder of 58-year-old Suzanne Wormser. Police say the two were living together at the time, and a tip call from a neighbor helped them crack the case.
He told the police that she had vacated the apartment already and she was no longer here, but I knew that something was wrong because she was a widow, she wasn't going anywhere, she was very much a part of the community, and it just didn't seem like something that she would do.
Police believe Koffel committed the murder inside of the home where he was living with Wormser for only a few weeks, but then took the time to dispose of her body in February outside of Colonel Ledyard Cemetery, although police say he didn't immediately admit to any wrongdoing.
The suspect was interviewed for a third time, and at that time confessed to the murder, providing details that matched the scene documentation as well as evidence collected by the investigators.
Police have since confirmed that Koffel acted alone and that there is no ongoing threat to the public. Koffel appeared in court by video today from his hospital bed as he's being treated for cancer. He's facing charges including murder, tampering with evidence, and improper disposal of a body.
Koffel is due back in court on June 10th. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lockery for Western Mass News.
The Salem police chief.
Okay. So like I said, they don't really talk a whole lot about the potential of it being a serial killer. They had that liberal up there saying, oh no, the chance of it being a serial killer is really low. When was the last time we had a serial killer? And every day that goes by and we don't have one, that potential increases. So they're just going, the liberal says so. And so they're like, okay, we ruled it out. The liberal dude said so. So can't be a serial killer. John over there said it can't be. So it can't be. Oh, okay. And like I said, they're not really explaining this. They don't even talk about the other 7 murders. They're just like, oh, okay, here's a map that shows that all these murders happen close together. We don't know who did it. We got an old man in custody. He might have did it, but he probably only did one of them. So that means the other 7 are unexplained. But okay. All right. And that's it. They don't really talk about the potential of it being a serial killer. They move the whole story to talk about the one guy, and they just insist, no, these 8 murders are not related. I think that they just don't want people being worried of a serial killer. I think that's the big thing. And they spend so much time calling the internet sleuths. These internet sleuths keep saying there's a serial killer. I don't know if there's a serial killer or not, but I don't want to be called an internet sleuth. I know that. A sleut. They're saying I'm slutty. Anyways. Next up, lefties losing it. Donald Trump mocks Taylor Swift at White House Super Bowl celebration. This will be the last little bit of our news, and we'll be getting into the fun stuff. But first, we're going to hop in the chat and see what you hooligans think about this whole serial killer situation. I could do that, Tori Wayne. I didn't even think about that. Let me write a reminder really quick. I'll do it right after the live. Well, let's make it more specific, because I know how you hooligans are. If I just make a photo group, we're going to be seeing buttholes and everything else. So we need how about like nature photos or something like that? Let's start there. I mean, as much as, I'd love to see your guys' furry little buttholes. Let's just try not to do that. Guess serial killers now do it all in one setting. Schools, Walmarts, it's called efficiency. Well, I didn't even think about that. Mass shootings, technically. No, guess we're not doing all nude photos. You end up going to jail. Poor. It's not going to work. Chase Bravin ate cereal in years. Yeah, the serial killer, he'll get you. Yeah, Tori Wayne, right after the live, I'll make it. It takes a couple minutes. I'll put it together. J Spray Butthole Surfers, remember? I remember. Guess Ducey's the most popular dork in the world. He's pretty much the best that Fox has to offer. I'm trying to think who else. There's someone else that's kind of all right too. Jesse Waters. Jesse Waters is all right. After Tucker Carlson left, Jesse Waters tried so hard to be the next Tucker Carlson, and I don't think it worked out. I think it actually made Jesse Waters a little less likable because he kept trying to sort of imitate what Tucker Carlson does. Enter user, so only natural boobs? Are you asking me? You don't want to know. I'm biased. I'm biased. I know some people are like boobs are boobs, but I don't like fake ones. I just don't. I've never seen them in person, but I just don't. The only thing that I think makes fake boobs understandable is if your shirts don't fit right. If you're a female and you like going out there and buying very feminine clothing and your shirts don't fit right, you know, you got V-necks and stuff and your shit just it's just baggy up front and it makes you insecure, go get your tits done. I can understand that. Anybody else though, I don't know. I mean, if you got money to blow, then, you know, enjoy that. But I just think fake boobs are, chew toys. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're, I don't know a nice way to say it. I'm gonna hurt feelings no matter what. I think they're less quality. I just do. And that's too bad. I know everybody's leaving right now. Big fuck you to Jeff Mack. Oh well. Said what I said. What's up, Winston? Happy freedom to you. Is that silly rabbit from Trick Cereal still alive? I would have killed him first if I was a serial killer. Then maybe the honeycomb bear. It's premeditated. I can tell, Winston. Told to carry more than a mouthful is a waste. That's what they say. Enter user Gutfield rocks it. A lot of people like Gutfield. I don't for some reason. He's not funny to me. And I thought he was gay until everybody told me that he was married. Now I know he's gay with a fake wife. But I don't know. I hear good things about Gutfield, and so more power to him. J Spray Gravity will get you. Yeah. Mr. B. New, fake boobs are gross and look painful. Thank you. I'm glad somebody else said it. Elisa, happy freedom to you. There is such a thing as too much silicone. When they look like beach balls, it's wrong. Yeah, where it looks like they're up in your chin and you gotta like push them down and stuff. You're smuggling balloons in your shirt. That's where I think it's too much. I like how 11 people left when I said that shit. Oh well. Mr. B. New, 2 girls, 1 cup. Remember that? Yeah, we were talking about it in the voice chat. We didn't show the video, but we did watch the reaction videos. Those are funny. All you guys were talking about that heavy-chested woman in the video. Yeah. I don't know what her name was. I don't know what the sirens are outside. It's like nonstop. I don't know if there's a fire. There's something going on. What's up, Stan? Happy freedom? Mav, outside buttholes. What do you mean like prolapse? Yeah, I'm going to get in trouble. What's up, CD? Happy freedom. Who killed Captain Crunch? I didn't know he got smoked. We got to have a moment of silence for Captain Crunch. Michael, can you bounce on them? I mean, I never factored that in. Magic Moon, the problem with implants is they can leak. Yeah, it's a scary thought, too. Vinny, see, the last serial killer I heard of was Paul Bernardo in Toronto. I don't know anything about Canadian serial killers, but I know there's a couple. I swear I heard something about like there was a couple serial killer duo, this woman and her boyfriend or something, and I think the boyfriend died in prison or something, but the woman was just released like a couple years ago. She was in prison for like 20 years, and they were like sodomizing and killing their victims. and doing bad stuff to him. And I swear the woman was just released, I don't know, it was probably 8 years ago or something like that. But and people were all pissed off, but I know there was something in Canada. What's up, neighbor guy? Happy freedom to you. Wayward whoop whoop. Crack me up. Done. Fuck Captain Crunch. Ho cereal cut you up. Yeah, have the whole top of your roof looking like a hamburger. Stoner Leaky Tit would be a good band name. What kind of music would they play? Pumpkin. Never thought of getting fake boobs, so I didn't. Yeah, Pumpkin. I don't know. I don't think it's good for people. Unless you're in that specific instance. I had a girl tell me that when I was at work. We were eating lunch. We were on a lunch break, and she was talking about it. Like, announced it to the table. There was 10 of us sitting there, and we're like, okay, you can get fake tits. That's cool. Whatever. She's like, I'm tired of my shirts being baggy, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Manna, you're not timed out. Not unless you put yourself in timeout. All right, hooligans. Let's move forward. Like I said, we got lefties losing it. Then we got the fun stuff coming up next. Let's get this pulled up real quick. Rita's shirt is styling today. Got my colors on. Look at that. Styling. This is titled Donald Trump mocks Taylor Swift at White House Super Bowl celebration. Hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the CommentTube, and let's get into this.
It's time for lefties losing it, and Democrats, particularly the perpetually outraged Karens, are again obsessing about the I word, impeachment. Yes, these democracy-denying hysterics want to see the duly elected president impeached. Let's hear from this screeching banshee at a town hall imploring Democrat Senator Jon Ossoff to remove the president.
Why are there no calls for impeachment? This is unacceptable. I will not live in an authoritative country, and neither will any of these people. You can do more. I like you, and I will vote for you if you are brave and you do what we need. We need him impeached. We need him removed.
We need him removed? Sounds a little insurrection-y to me, lady. They want him removed. They don't care what for. And listen here to Senator Ossoff's response. He gives the game away here. The Democrats don't care why either. They will try to impeach Donald Trump as soon as they have the numbers.
I agree with you. But as I said at the beginning, I also have no choice but to be candid with you about the situation that we face and the tools that are at our disposal. As strongly as I agree with you, ma'am. And I regret if this is an unwelcome response, but my job is to be honest with you. The only way to achieve what you want to achieve is to have a majority in the United States House of Representatives.
Well, the shrill Karen should start celebrating because some Democrats are listening to her. Here is a Democrat you've never heard of before, but he wants to be famous. Meet Congressman Sri Thandadar from the great state of Michigan.
Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a...
I forgot he was in the lefties losing it.
That has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump.
There's double dose.
The wrongfully deported Kilmer got
wrongfully deported
and received due process. Trump ignored it.
Yes, he wants to impeach Donald Trump for not bringing back a gangbanger who was in the country illegally. What a winning issue for the Democrats. Yes, I'm sure Donald Trump is terrified at this latest sham impeachment plan and just as terrified of this dude.
About the current issues, people are frustrated, people are angry, people are fearful about what's happening with the cuts in Washington, D.C., the tariffs.
As I'm sure this latest impeachment move is going to work a treat. They must really be eager for President J.D. Vance. Guys, just wait 3.5 years and you'll get it. Now, here is something so absurd that you assume it must be a work of satire. It must be.
Take a look at this actress playing Anne Frank. And this one, and this one, and this one. What do all of these actors have in common? They're all white. Over the years, our world has been getting more and more diverse, but our Holocaust narratives have not been able to keep up. Until now! I've created a new musical called Slam Frank that combines hip-hop, spoken word poetry, and mucho diversity so that we can have a version of this story that is prescient and relevant to future generations.
What can I say? Sadly, this musical actually exists. It's called Slam Frank, a satirical reimagining of Anne Frank's story. And it will be in theatres, folks. Fittingly, it will be at the Asylum in New York in June. Talking about asylums, let's check in with this young lass who seems to think that there's no difference between a fetus and a cyst. She's my favourite idiot of the week.
Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at, okay, anything that is involving the uterus.
Well, no, in order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
No, anything that
Yes.
is involving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
Now, President Donald Trump has celebrated the 2025 Super Bowl champions at the White House with the Philadelphia Eagles in attendance. The team and the president were in great spirits. This is quite a departure from 2018 when President Trump cancelled the celebration for the Eagles after he was advised that most players were not planning to show up. Well, what a difference 7 years makes.
Let me just say, fly, Eagles, fly, right?
The players presented the president with his own jersey and they even got a tour of the Oval Office with the players lining up to shake the president's hand. And Trump was certainly in good spirits. He was reminiscing about the Super Bowl and even had a little dig at Taylor Swift.
It was an incredible game, a little surprising, but right from the beginning, in the first quarter of the big game, which I was there, I watched in person. I was there along with Taylor Swift. How did that work out? How did that one work out?
I'll remind you how that worked out. One of them got massive cheers and the other one got booed. Good times. Now, there were 3 players missing from the White House celebrations. They blamed scheduling issues, like they have something better to do. One of those players, Jalen Hurts, had this pitiful response last week when asked whether he was going to be there.
Are you planning on visiting the White House next week?
Got it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, beautifully articulated. They're so eloquent, so brave. Meanwhile, your teammates are there hobnobbing with the president and they're taking iconic selfies with his portrait. That looks like Elias Ricks there, and he declared his love for Ivanka after the White House visit. He posted this. He said, after seeing her in person, Ivanka is exactly my type. Good luck there. Now, let's bring in Sky News contributor Kosha Gator. Kosha, we've got some...
All right, so that there is lefties losing it, and that wraps up our news for the day. Wow, I've never thrown my remote before. Jesus. No, it's not for your girlfriend's vibrator. Just hold on, I gotta turn this shit down. I broke the remote. Well, that's great. Anyways, like I said, we got the fun stuff coming up next. We're going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. And we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled Double Homicide, and our official funny video of the day is titled How Girls Trick Me into Being in a Relationship with Them. I didn't record the video, though. I really did break the remote. Come on, you piece of shit. No, I broke it. Oh, well. Anyways, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the lefties losing it. No problem, J Spray. Appreciate you being here. Hair juicer, tree something or other. I just looked his name. Are you talking about the guy that wants to impeach Trump? Now I'm starting to see bits of that ABC interview that you guys were talking about. We'll play clips of it tomorrow. Shri Thander? I don't know what the hell his name is. I think it's this hair juicer. Rolling Pony. Klaus is such a nice, solid, manly kitty. He is. He's a good boy. Bobby Scum. Yeah, that's how you spell it. You're right. I can't believe I broke the TV remote. There we go. Okay, can't hear myself over my own beats. Pumpkin lefties lose it every day. I know, they are miserable people. Bill Clay, you woke up Klaus. Yeah, I know. He thought I was becoming aggressive. He's like, what'd I even do? You throwing the remote across the living room? Stoner, I want to order a Trump Eagles jersey. Do they got that on the merch store? They got all kinds of stuff on their merch store. What's up, David? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin, she must be 13. Talking about the little girl talking to Charlie Kirk. Yeah. There was a Charlie Kirk video I meant to put on the schedule today. We'll play it tomorrow. It's already been long live. It was funny though. I can't believe the one guy, I don't know what the hell he is, representative of Michigan for some sort, the Indian dude wants to impeach Trump. I forgot he was on the lefties losing a video, so we got a double dose. Hey, thanks for being here, Mana. Thank you, Jeff Reynolds. Guess she has her PhD. I think her pH was off. That's what I think it was. Jeff Reynolds can't stand that cat from India. Yeah, I can't either. I didn't watch the video until you guys made me. What's up, Crystal Heart? Happy freedom. What's up, Xterra Bill? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Find It, Fix It? I thought this was a parody video. I know. Yeah, it seems like it. No, he means it. It's just hard to take him serious. Hey, thanks for being here, guess Pumpkin. Klaus has beautiful markings. Give him kisses for me. Oh, I will. Klaus is loved. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into the fun stuff before any more of you hooligans leave. Like I said, we're going to be opening today's door of the advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer, and we got 2 funny videos of the day coming up. But before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. All right. Let's see what we get today. We had to open like 3 doors yesterday because we kept hitting blank spots. I don't know exactly why that is, but let's see what we get today. Let's see, where are we at? 15, I think it is. Can we do this without wrecking anything? I think we got one of those situations where we finally got to the point where we are opening doors that have more than one thing inside. So we have this. What is this? This is instructions for this. Okay. All right, let me figure this out really quick. I think this is what we got the little sleeve for yesterday. It says multi-purpose pocket survival tool, can opener, knife edge, screwdriver, ruler, cap opener, 4-position wrench, butterfly wrench, saw blade, direction, something or other, indication, 2-position wrench, and lanyard keyhole. So this is the instructions that you can't really see, but they're there. And then this is the tool, it's a credit card tool. Yesterday we got a sleeve, and I didn't know why. Let's see if I can find it. This is what we got yesterday, is this little leather sleeve. Now we know why we got that. I believe it would go like this. There. It is now all put together, full circle. But wait, there's more. Here's another one of these little racist hooks that you guys like so much. This is the third one we've got in this pack. I can't even open it. Ugh. Yes. Got that. And whatever this is. Okay. Lanyard string. That's good. You can't see it because everything's black on black on black. But what you looking at? This ain't for you. It might be. It might be. It might be for you. And then a spork, which kind of reminds me of being in jail. This one's metal, and when you're in jail, they're not metal. But either way, can you take... Oh, my... Oh, okay. You know what? I don't even know if I can show you guys that, but this is way better than the ones you get in jail. Got a three-piece today. Holy, let's put this in the bag before Close Daniels attacks the string. You hold on there, buddy. You got enough toys. Anyways, thank you so much, Hair Juicer. I really appreciate you. What a door today. Heck yeah. All right, hooligans. Let's get into our funny videos. This first one is by Handicapable. And this is titled Double Homicide.
You just had an abortion? Twins?
Twins.
Yeah, double homicide.
Bitch.
No, I'm sorry. Who had the common double homicide? I did.
This bitch right here.
All right, step to the front.
She had 2 abortions, call it double homicide. Now everybody's all butthurt. Well, life lessons. Let's get into our official funny video of the day. This is by Stoner. This one's titled How Girls Trick Me Into Being in a Relationship with Them.
Oh my god. Baby, are you okay? You look like you've seen some things. Do you need a hug? Or maybe a little tuna? It's okay. I got snacks and 0 emotional stability.
Gets me every time. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to grab this Linktree link really quick. We're going to read through the chats, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Alright, hooligans, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because you've got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, you'll have access to the arcade, and you will also have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. Plus, you'll be able to join us Fridays after the live for our voice chat, which is a ton of fun with a lot of laughs. So definitely go join the membership program over on the website, jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. We're going to read through really quick, and like I said, we get the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Guess stand tall, not trying to be rude, but when we do the group pick, I'd probably be nude. Very nice, guess some. Wise words from Guess Some. Thank you so much, Patriot Dad, for that $10 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Patriot Dad. Thank you so much. Says, miss you, Hooligans. Been busy. Much love. Much love to you, Patriot Dad. Thank you. Thank you, Too Old to Care. Thank you, Winston. Thank you for being here, Metal Mouth. Pumpkin, poor kitty. He'd be okay. Pumpkin, cool spork. I agree. I wasn't sure at first, but it got cool as time went on. Bill Clay, that spork could be a great jail weapon. Yeah, I didn't realize. I found out. Bill Clay and a string for Klaus. I know, he's going to end up getting it. Meta, is the Advent empty today? No, not yet. We're getting there, though. What's up, Crazy Times? Happy Freedom? What is your name? We'll go with Slot. Happy Freedom, Slot. Hey, thanks for being here, Mana. Thank you, Magic Moon. Xterra. Built-in shank. Yeah, it caught me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. Aaron, Happy Freedom. Anyone talking about the shooting at ISU? No, I don't know anything about it. Let me see. Apparently it happened yesterday. One person reportedly shot Illinois State University. No, 2 days ago. No, I haven't heard anything about it. What was 2 days ago? Oh, it was Sunday. That's why. Maybe we'll have it with tomorrow's live. Wayward, I need a shank. I can eat my cereal with what I thought was the coolest piece so far. Yeah, I didn't know. That was surprising. It was surprising to pull that. Legendary find. Thanks for being here, Josh1776. Thank you, MU. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. All right, Hooligans, it is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we did the thing. We are good to go. We're going to read through one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind, but we are wrapping this up. We'll be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Hey, thanks for being here, Hair Juicer. Thank you, Tori Wayne. Thank you, Elder Zoomer. Thank you, Lone Wolf. Have a great night, Bill Clay. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Meta. Thanks for being here, Wayward. Have a good night. Much love to you, Pumpkin. All right, I think we are good to go. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. I appreciate all of you guys being here. It's been kind of a long live. Thanks for covering the news with me as well as a Trump rally. It's been a while. Love covering Trump rallies. Definitely go and enjoy the rest of your night. Get yourself some good food. I'm going to do the same, and be safe if you decide to leave the house. Be safe if you don't decide to leave the house. But either way, make sure you come back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.